refresh yourselves.
Hello, hello! How is everyone doing today? It is another lovely Friday. My first Friday streaming. Why am I being bonked immediately? Hi, everyone. Today, today we are indeed reading some articles from the community, and that's very exciting. We have a whole list that we are going to be pulling from today, and so yes. And of course, if you are watching this right now and you haven't sent me anything to read, you are more than welcome to do so at any time, and I will just pop it onto my list, because I know, oh my gosh, and how could I forget, there's a sippy before I even went live, so hello. And it's really funny that you said grab your sippy and go world build, because that is the mug that I'm using today. So grab your coffee. It's kind of weird to be drinking water out of a coffee cup, but it's alright. Yeah, so I wish my greetings upon Preppy Monty Poppycock, who is here. Hello, thank you. Inquisitor777, hello as well. And J Murphy 300, hello. Greetings, greetings. You're psychic, yeah. Yes, well, welcome everyone to Feral Fridays. We are going to be doing these every week, just throughout summer camp, and we're just going to be sharing articles, doing article reads. Alishar, hello, welcome. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. We have, how many? Actually, if I can make a very silly request, we have at least one article from every single prompt, except for prompt 7. So if anyone has any articles that they've submitted for prompt number 7, that'd be really cool, because then we'll have like a little full coverage of everything. And yeah, and maybe next week we'll be able to do the same thing, but for the silver prompts, that'd be really cool. Oh, coffee cup is my go-to cup for any drink, yes, of course. Well, listen, I'll drink anything out of a mug, alright, but this one literally says grab your coffee on it, and so it's a little different, I feel like. So yeah, let's see who we've got in our lineup today as far as people. We have Firil de Kuraito, we have Kotobelpon, Nino Don Lord, Crazy Eddie, Faye, we have Eclipsed, Hallie the Moonlight Bard, we have Oster 2000, we have Kajitan Rights, we have Drunken Panda, Alishar, and Rin, and also Nimsy. And also Inquisitor, I have not forgotten about you, I just haven't updated my list yet. I did see your message, you messaged me like a little bit late, so I just kind of didn't get to it, I do apologize. But I will find an article of yours, so we shall read today. Alright, so let's just pop on over to our little screen here, size it correctly. Sorry, but awesome. Yeah, no, it's no problem. I was at D&D last night, so we went a little bit late, but that's okay. So we already have our first article pulled up. But here's our little list of all the lovely articles that we'll be reading today. We're just gonna go in prompt order. So yes, we have cow refs, and this is. I'm just gonna have to. Yeah, Firil Dakuraito. That is the user. So yeah, we have cow refs, cooperating refiners, artisans, crafters, cooks, and much more. Yeah, all the danger, all the work, and this is the end result. It feels sad, underwhelming, almost like a stab in the back, right? Do not worry, the first coin always feels like that. Now, let me show you who is truly worthy of your first favor. Reich Skoritzel, upon seeing disappointment of new raiders. I will be the first one to tell everyone here that I love quotes in articles, like in the beginning of them. Just the flavor. Hee hee. Moro, our beloved Moro did a TikTok on like working with dialogue in your world building, and that was really cool. And I loved watching it because I agree completely. I love it. It's so much fun. I saw Frog on the list, so I've decided that was my favorite. That is, I agree. I saw it in the chat when it was being submitted to me, and I was like, oh, I haven't even opened it, and I love it. Yes, description. Refiners organize and cooperating in order to ensure each of them has material for their work. While planners ensure the prosperity of the settlement as a whole, cow refs plan their own requirements for their working schedules themselves. With that comes scheduling of their individual assignments for raiders who supply the necessary materials. After a cataclysm, the humans abandoned the old coins and returned to barter trades. However, Cowref's internal coin gave roots to a system that quickly took hold. Aha, I see. Evan Eriks, hello, hi, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so what I'm getting from this description right here is that we have these like 3 different groups, and they kind of help each other out to make sure that they function, which is really awesome. And so there was a cataclysm of some kind that kind of rendered the existing currency obsolete, but now they've weaseled their way into making a new system, new monetary system that has since taken hold. And so that's pretty cool. That's a nice little bit of world building right there. I mean, this is all going to be nice bits of world building, so I'm given my order to write, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna do it while listening to you. Oh my gosh, of course. I'll be more than happy to know that people are writing while I'm doing these readings. And yes, I did mention we have an article to read for every single prompt right now, except prompt number 7. So, you are welcome to drop that into the chat at any time if you have one. Oh, ignore Moobot. It still thinks that we're working on prompts right now, but that's okay. That's why Kato said that? Yes, probably. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, yeah, so definitely. You've been given a mission, and so now I look forward to seeing what you write for prompt 7. I'm here lurking, listening in on amazing world building. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and so the scale of presence and origins. Originating from the now fallen Attisite. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I don't know, let's click on it and see if there's a little pronunciation guide. There isn't, we will just say Attisite. And carried on by traders on Cycler came the idea of cooperation between refiners. Instead of fighting for raiders' time and increasing the internal competitiveness, the approach of taking turns in putting assignments allowed refiners to keep themselves occupied. In the present day, almost every Attisite have their refiners cooperating in the suggested way, even though some details may vary. And before I forget, actually, I will link this article so you can go check it out yourself, leave some likes, leave some comments. I recommend doing this for everyone because they are all wonderful. And listen, it's very brave to just send your work to someone and have them read it to, like, an audience. So definitely give them some love, say that they're wonderful and awesome because it's true. And Nino, hello, welcome. Thank you for tuning in at this wild hour. So sleepy, but the hypnos would save me. Oh no. Why do I feel instantly inadequate? Oh yeah, this is for sure a scary prospect. It's alright. It is okay. Yeah, operations and agenda. The main issue that the Kaura faced was mutual competition for the precious time of the raiders. Getting materials from the ground below required their skills and carry capacity. Originally, the refiners not only needed to make the trip worth it for the raiders, they even needed to make sure their assignment was doable and more lucrative than the others. Failure to achieve that meant they had no materials to process into finished goods for experimenting. Oh, you said something about prompt 7? I did. We haven't had any, or at least there aren't on my list, any submissions for prompt 7. I know you sent me like a couple, so if there is one of those in there, I might just like pick it up and read it. But we'll see. I also have someone in my chat right now who is on a like designated mission to write this prompt from another friend, so I do have one, but you can go other people's first. Yeah, that's fair. Is 7 the title? No, we're talking about like prompt number 7 on the list. Which one is that? Hold on. Let me. Let me. So I just stopped saying the word prompt 7. Sorry, that's my little window over there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's title and responsibilities of an important person in your world. That's the one. So that is what we are referring to. Yes, the rank title. Absolutely. Let's see. Over time, the members came up with a tier list that ranks refiners based on the quality of their final product. With this ranking done, it is serving a dual purpose. At first, it shows which refiners are the best, and secondly, it also makes refining priorities in case of conflict easier. It is in everyone's best interest to have the best equipment being made with as little downtime as possible. Hence, the better blacksmiths, artisans, and crafters get higher priority in receiving material. The method of giving assignments to raiders evolved a few times over the years. In the present day, refiners each have their own coins depending on which tier they are acknowledged on. When it's time to inform raiders what materials are needed, the priority in which assignments are given out is determined by what tier of coin the refiner used. In sad cases, when the refiner is out of coins, they cannot raise another assignment. With this approach, the refiners take turns in giving assignments to raiders. Once someone receives materials, they do not put up more assignments until they run out, until they present a project that requires different materials than they already have available, or until every member of the Kaurafs had their turn. When every member handled at least one assignment, the selected representative gives every member 1 coin of their respective tier. Thanks to this, the most skilled have full hands of work, and the less skilled are still able to get materials. So that's really cool. They have a tier system and different currencies for each tier, and it kind of is a system that balances itself out in a way. They have a little bit of control. Not anyone can just dominate the market, dominate the time of the raiders. Sorry for the spelling errors, by the way. Oh, it's all good. There are no worries whatsoever. I'm not gonna judge anybody on like the way that they spell. We have a lot, and I mean a lot, of people in this community that are like not native English speakers, first of all. And second of all, I'm just not going to discriminate against people who can't spell. But yeah, these are just things that aren't important to me. I'm sorry for the spelling. Yeah. I was mostly talking about the articles when I was saying all those things, but like in the chat is also fine. But yes, currency and its use. Wait, did I already? No, this is the next one. Can't write a single word without an English dictionary. Totally fair. Yes, cowrefs have an internal system which allows refiners to pay raiders for the materials not with finished product, but with a promise of free work should they need it. These promises, called favors, take the form of minted coins that bear the tier of the refiner. All the raider needs to do in order to call upon this favor is to bring a coin of sufficient or higher tier to the selected refiner, along with the materials needed for their commissioned item. The refiners take the commission along with the coin, and when the job is finished, they hand it to the raider free of charge. The refiners must focus on commissioned items in order of coin tiers, so a refiner service becomes highly demanded. Raiders may decide to skip the line by commissioning using them higher tiered coin. Additionally, should the raider decide, they can pick one of the available finished goods instead of commissioning their own piece. Refiners getting their hands on coins above their acknowledged tier is nothing rare. When that happens, they are encouraged to use it to gain a higher priority on giving assignments to raiders. Using higher tier coin this way gives them priority equal to the tier of the coin and shows everyone that their services are valued more than they are acknowledged for. Any occurrence of this is noted, and should a refiner reach a point when such coin usage becomes norm, their tier would be increased. So that's really awesome. It's a way that within their system they can be acknowledged for having like superior quality over higher tier crafters. And then, once it becomes commonplace, they can just get bumped up to that tier. So it's more appropriate of a label. Love that, that's really cool. Important ranks and responsibilities. Representative. Every Attisite has 1 member of the cowrefs elected as a representative. After being elected, the representative is responsible for holding the daily meetings, accepting the assignments for raiders, handing out coins, and monitoring possible new members. Minter. The person responsible for minting favor coins or their melting is everyone's trust. They hold the keys to building housing-specific minting machine that is used to create coins of any tier. The building housing is the mint is also used to store spare coins not in circulation. I'm like bungling these sentences, I'm so sorry. Coins leaving circulation happens when there is a tier promotion. The mint is also capable of melting the coins. While lower tier coins are often stored and reused for refiners reaching these tiers, the higher tiers are melted and minted anew to ensure they do not accidentally leak into circulation. Tier 2 to 5. Refiners of various tiers reflect the demand and quality for their service and skills. Their sole responsibility is to gear up the raiders the best that the raiders can get. Tier 1 is the entry tier. Refiners who freshly join the organization are given this tier and then monitored. Should raiders overburden them with commissions, they would advance to the next tiers. Exceptions on this tier are food-providing refiners. These cooks may be acknowledged for their efficiency as higher tiers for the sake of raising assignments, but they are kept on this tier to make the product available. And we have the ungraded tier. Refiners who are out of interest to cowrefs. While the organization's goal is to make getting materials easier for each member, the ultimate goal is to ensure raiders are well equipped. Refiners who do not have an officially organized tier are those whose skill is deemed insufficient for the raiders by the organization and therefore barely of interest. However, the representative is still monitoring them to see possible changes in the quality and skill. There you go. The process of joining and falling in disfavor. While seemingly beneficial, some intentionally do not use this cooperation or were forbidden to use it due to not fulfilling their part of the deals. In order to join, refiners need to provide services of a quality that sparks interest in the eyes of both the raiders and the representative as well. After the representative gives them a chance, they receive their Tier 1 coins and are allowed to join the morning meetings. If someone pays Raider with their favor coins and then refuses to accept it as payment for commission, they can fall into disfavor with the organization. The only way to avoid this is if the refusing party can present an untouched starting package of coins, meaning that they received an offer to join but yet did not. Once a refiner falls into disfavor, they will stop getting more favor coins. Once they run out of the ones they had, they will either start accepting them as payment for their service or never get another. Raiders who were hurt by the refusal to accept their commission could not pick nor wanted to pick a finished product from the freshly disfavored refiner, have their coin raised by the whole tier, and are encouraged to visit other members of the organization. Let's see here what Nino said. It was more talking about me typing stuff in the state I'm in, but anyway, with the currencies, love the coins are people's way of determining more than just value. System really seems to encourage both spending the coins and trying to get higher coins, even if there's some risk involved. Yes, absolutely. It's a really cool system. I'm impressed by people that can just put stuff like this together just in a, during summer camp. But yeah, external relationships. Raiders are still suspicious when they receive their first coins for a haul of materials. But they quickly adapted and started seeing possible quality equipment in the palm-sized coins. Planners, on the other hand, jumped on this opportunity. Some Attasites completely embraced the favor coins, providing them as part of their own assignments. In the end, the cooks who are cooperating with both planners and cow refs always had enough resources to feed the population, meaning that on some Attasites, the favor coins completely replaced the lower quality sustain. Traders, on the other hand, loathe the coin system. As the concept of quality is always different on every visited Attasite, what is Tier 5 on one may be Tier 3 on another, or worse. They, therefore, reject the coins and accept only either finished products or higher quality materials. And that is true. That is a good note about how quality can be a very subjective thing, depending on who you are and where you're looking. Just going to drop a little like on this article. And once again, I will share this link since we have finished reading. And let's carry on to our next. Leave some nice likes, leave some nice comments. Oh, and I see. Next on our list, this article by Katoblapon.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, sippy time. I had to look around for my mug because I forgot where it was. Oh, wonderful. Yes, after all that reading, I do need a little sippy or two. Yes, the little transition sippies for sure. Yeah, so now we have Etitol by Katoblapon. And so this is for prompt number 2, Seat of Power. Can you post the links to all the stuff you read today on the Discord once stream is over? I probably won't stay awake for the entire stream. Would love to read them in the morning. Yes, of course. I'll absolutely link every single article that I read today. I'll make like a nice little compilation post for everybody, and I'll put that in my Discord. I might also post it in like a little author post on World Anvil as well, just like a little journal entry. And yeah, so that list will be available for everyone to go peruse at any time you wish. Putting down the mug. All right. And yeah, I also have a little note like this at the top of my world right now, because things are a little under construction, as it were. All right. Etitol is a coastal town in the western part of Vagri, in the archipelago Kliras. It is owned by the Gatherers of the Past organization, who are most of the inhabitants of the town. Other than being a place for the organization to stay, what makes this town special is that half the town is on solid land, and the other half underwater, to adapt for the siren inhabitants. Ooh! That's pretty cool. I didn't know you had sirens in your world. Oh, it's being worked on. Shh, it's a secret. The town All right, the Ashtarian district. While it is called Ashtarian, it does not mean it is where all Ashtarians live. The Ashtarian district is the part of the town that is located underwater and where all the sirens of the town live in. It holds some underwater farms and barns for the aquatic animals that the gatherers of the past use as helpers in their travels. There's an inn for siren passerby and a couple of taverns for the Ashtarian Etatolians. And the Ifarian district. It is where all the non-aquatic people live in. It has a couple of harbors to hold all of the ships from the gatherers of the past, as well as a shipyard with a ramp to move the ships in and out of the water. A lighthouse is found between the harbors to avoid shipwrecks. There's an inn for passersby and a couple of taverns for the Ifarian Etatolians. South of the town there are some fields and a couple of barns for the farm animals and the passerby's animals. Aquatic animals? I need to know more. Is Kato here? Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Could very well be here listening. I do believe that, she was at least here long enough to deliver a mission upon, okay. Kato be sleeping. You will have to find out another time. Maybe leave a comment, and you will receive a reply back, which would actually be a lot easier if I actually sent a link to the article that I'm reading. I did the exact same thing during World Ember when I was reading articles. I would just like start reading and be like, oh shoot, I forgot the link. And so in the middle of the article, I'd be like, here you go, take it. have the link, please. So here you go. If I don't link the article and I start reading it, just start yelling at me. Just barrage me with bonks. But yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments. Leave some nice comments, leave some questioning comments. It's always fun to get questions because they help you develop more things. Yeah, so let's see. This is a outpost slash base. Population is approximately 280 people, so it's pretty small. The demonym is Etatolian, and it's a location under Vagrich. I don't know how we're supposed to be pronouncing this. Access denied. Okay, that's a draft. That's fine. And the owning organization is Gatherers of the Past. And two things right off the bat that I love so much about this. One, these demographic sliders. Chef's kiss. They're beautiful. I love this. And I'm gonna need to like bother some people to figure out how to do this myself. And also this map placeholder. So cute. Little wink. That's so cute. I love that. Let's just open it in full size and see what's going on over here. Oh, she's gorgeous. Well, anyway, we have some demographics here. We have species. 37% Zatoni, 8% Ashix, 6% others, 33% Sirens, 16% Koreans. Very cool. Age, 12% kids, 24% teens, 52% adults, and 12% elders. And professions, 63% are gatherers of the past, which is pretty cool. It is the owning organization, so that makes a lot of sense. 8% lumbers, 12% fishermen, 12% farmers, and 5% other. I could use some map placeholders. Well, here's some inspiration for one right here. It's very cool. It's very effective. I guess the government now is what we get into here. The town is ruled by 2 leaders of the Gatherers of the Past and a help of 4 assistants. The responsibilities of ruling the town being divided into 2 of the leaders. The Ishtara branch involves the Ishtarian leader and 2 Ishtarian assistants. They are responsible for the underwater part of the town, as well as the incoming and outcoming ships, as well as the nearby waters of the town. The Ifarian branch, it involves the Ifarian leader and 2 Ifarian assistants. They are responsible for the terrestrial part of the town, as well as the trading and passerby. Making sure the outskirts of the town is safe is also their responsibility. Anything that affects both parts of the town or different parts that are controlled by different branches has to be agreed by both branches before being accepted, such as taxes and laws. So much inspiration, all your talented people's works. Absolutely! That's why I love doing these readings. And it looks like there is a Gatherers of the Past article for anyone who wants to do additional poking and prodding into an organization. There's trading. As the town is more focused on the objective of the organization, a lot of the basic things to maintain a town alive are overseen, and thus trading has always been important, although they have been the past years working on becoming an independent town. Food has been something that the town has always needed. A fairly big part of the winnings of the organization have been used to buy food for the inhabitants of the town. Although with the new underwater and terrestrial farms, the need of buying food has been drastically falling. So that's really good. They're not having to outsource their food quite as much. In the start, building materials were also highly needed, except wood. As there are plenty of trees near the town, the expenses of buying materials were never too high, as many of them were able to be bought in exchange for wood. Nowadays, while building materials are still needed, although in lower quantity, most materials required are for expeditions of the organization. Most trades happen with other towns and settlements around the islands. Some trades have been able to be done with other sirens from other places of the oceans. For rarer materials, ships are sent to the south of Imea. And for the history, the town was funded a couple decades ago, originally with only Afarian people in it to recover from what they saw falling from the sky and then possibly sell it. The organization settled down where the town now stands, as it had good access to the sea and a section where a lot of things fell down from the sky. As time passed, they learned about these artifacts and ruins coming from Ashtara. The town invited sirens to live in the coast of the town, offering to help on starting an adequate place for them to live, in exchange for them helping on their incursions to visit the ruins. As most sirens were interested in discovering what once was theirs, they accepted, and with the help, the incursions improved a lot. Very cool. I love this article, and I have a lot of questions, a lot of interests in what is going on, like learning more about what is falling from the sky. Yeah, this is an article where clearly we've been thinking about the other themes that are yet to be explored, yet to be released, talking a lot about relics and a lot about ruins that are being explored. And that's a really cool thing to see. Very, very good, very nice. Drop a little like. Absolutely. Wonderful, beautiful. So let's see. All right. I already had this open in another tab. So much stuff drawing you to other prompts. Yes. And having these little oh boy, yeah, it's your article. But yeah, having these little connections and like little feelers that you're sticking out into other themes is probably going to give you a lot to work with when those prompts actually start dropping and you think, oh, well, I mentioned a little bit of something like this already. And yes, so this. So am I pronouncing this as like? I assume yes. Yeah, I need to have a little something like this at the beginning of my articles. It is, yes. Excellent, good. All right. Welcome, new citizen, to the great splendor of Doralia, city of storms. As a new settler from one of the neighboring mines or dwarf cities, the High Council has deemed it necessary that you are informed of a magical peculiarity. Please read the following carefully, because it is both highly useful to understand like crystals and highly dangerous to not. What is like? Like is a term coined by the thaumaturge Rabakar Myerite, who was the first dwarf to fully harness the crystals. The term is a portmanteau from our words like and muik, so it literally means shining miracle. The term is quite apt, for like crystals are clear crystals that can be found natively in and around Doralia and can be mined from the rock below. These clear crystals hold one of Doralia's greatest secrets. Oh my gosh, and I wasn't yelled at. I haven't linked the article yet. Here you go. We're doing such a good job. Anyway, these clear crystals hold one of Doralia's greatest secrets. When struck by lightning, the crystals are transformed into containers of great power, which can be revealed by wetting the crystals with water, causing them to shine a pale blue light. And history of the Storm Coast. Light crystals were known far before Doralia was even conceived by Queen Gulrock and King Circalion, but no one understood how to harness them. The wizard Obanian the Wise describes them almost 2 millennia before their first use in Doralia. Back then, the Storm Coast was an undesirable stretch of land. The constant storms made life hard, and the dangerous currents and the high cliffs prevented the formation of trade routes via the sea. The strange crystals that glowed in the rain were barely known to scholars at the time, and then only dismissed as a novelty item. I love I love the idea of powerful things being like hand waved away because people just don't know what they're looking at. They're like, oh, great, a glowing crystal. How cool. Very inventive, right? And then you actually find out what they are and you're like, oh, well, we could have used this a long time ago. Yes, some excellent, excellent little mid-journey arts. Looks like someone's thumb is back here. Oh, that thing? Yeah, it's weird, but who knows what it does? Yeah. Like, I don't know what that thing is. Probably does nothing, but then you find out, oh no, it does stuff, indeed. Alright, mysterious origin. Anyway, check out the sword I made. For reasons not yet known at the time, the crystals hold a particular affinity to static fields. In fact, light crystals can draw lightning strikes far more effectively than even very conductive materials. There is, however, some danger involved. Charged crystals become volatile from the stored energy. Repeated strikes by lightning will cause the crystal to crack and ultimately explode, no longer stable enough to contain the energy within. This missing knowledge would, however, not stay hidden for long. I imagine that is the kind of knowledge that people just start to quickly discover the more they, use these things. These little unfortunate discoveries like, oh, yeah, it turns out that actually this is a little more it's a little more dangerous than we thought. Oopsie poopsie. Yes, Rabakar Myrite and his spiritual descendants. It was shortly after the first founding, when the city had only one ring of walls, that the thaumaturge Rabakar Myrite discovered further properties of the crystals. When in the charged state, the power within is slowly depleted when in contact with water. Oh, the ancient tale of asbestos. True. Yeah, things that one went downhill pretty quickly. But at least now we have like a catchy jingle here in the US about it. Alright. More importantly, if proper metal, copper primarily, or magical or runic pathways are opened for the crystal to flow into, the crystals can effectively power runic magic, a branch that was previously considered too wasteful to accomplish useful spells. Jadabro Art, hey, how you doing? What's up? Welcome in. Alright, Rabakar and all the thaumaturges of Doralia that came and after gave their life's work to studying, further developing, and understanding the intricacies of leg magic as the new field was dubbed. Now, many years later, the devices born from it are much more developed and can accomplish almost anything that regular spells could, with some limitations and flexibility, of course. Today, you can buy like devices from many licensed thaumaturges throughout Doralia to improve your daily life. I love the sound of that. I love how it sounds like a little, a pitch, sales pitch. Just because only, the other day I was reading Megacorpolis articles, I was thinking like, oh yeah, you can buy these to improve your life. What could go wrong? How to keep yourself safe from the potential dangers. Now that you know the basics about like, here are 3 important rules to keep in mind when interacting with and handling like and its derivatives. 1. Never, in bold, never, bring a charged light crystal into a storm unless you are in your taller structures that lightning will strike instead. Because of this, you are risking your life if you take light crystals beyond city gates. 2. If the crystal is leaking glowing vapors, take it to a trained thaumaturge. The leaking indicates damage to the runes scribed into the crystal, and the entire device could damage you or your property. And 3. Do not alter any runes unless you know what they do within the thaumaturgy. Alright, yeah, it's a pamphlet. I did get that from from this little welcome new citizen. And so yeah, I do love that the way I love having just any kind of world building, any articles, maps, anything that is from an in character perspective. Because it gives you a lot to work with by way of you don't have to give every single detail because the people speaking may not know every single detail. And because there's a specific person or group of people talking, you can choose to leave things out, make things vague, because they're not going to know everything. Or they could even be purposely choosing to hide different details to sway a person in a particular direction. See what I did with the built-in limit of how far these can travel from the city? Oh yes, true. Feeling very happy when I thought of that. Heck yeah. Should chuck in my firewood article then. It's entirely a first-person internal monologue. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so once again, I will share this article link with everybody. So go check it out. I'll leave some. And thank you for the post-article sip. Oh, very cool. Go leave some likes, go leave some comments, leave some feedback. And after my stream, probably, I will go and leave my own little comments and feedback for everyone, because I know, like, for sure, not everyone is going to be here to hear me reading these articles, so it's more of like I get to share with you guys. Alright, so now we got Crazy Eddie's chocolate article. That's a, I'm assuming this is the normal world header, and not the header for chocolate specifically. Oh my gosh, how terrifying. Unless I'm wrong. Okay, no, it is just the default world header. I thought we were walking into, like, I thought we had, like, oh, we have this nice little wholesome, like, oh, it's chocolate article. And then I open this and it's like a war scene. I'm like, curious. But no, it is not like that. Let's see, Oster. My world is entirely written from a first-person perspective. Very fun. Chocolate forged in Mordor. Any special chocolate war, surely. I mean, listen, you never know. If I didn't know that this was specifically for the material prompt, I'd be like, when you wake up after Halloween, your siblings ate all your chocolate? No. But completely understandable. Anyway, we have chocolate to read about. I have our little chocolate beans in a box. Like that image. Let's see our overview. Chocolate, or chocolate beans to be precise, are one of a few materials found in the world of Korea which has sparked one or another smaller war. Oh, so there is a war involved. I spoke too soon. But here's the link for you guys to go check it out as well. The chocolate plantations set in the west of Pisacina. Pisacina? Pisacina, at the foot of the Long Neck mountain range, where the chocolate trees can grow with a little help from the deep wells surrounding the plantations. The climate near the mountains is next to ideal for the chocolate trees. They grow slow but steady. The main harvest takes place during the first 3 months of summer, the second harvest roughly 1 month before autumn. Workers cut the chocolate pods from the trees, break them, peel the beans out of their pod, and store them in tight boxes so they can safely ferment. After the fermentation process is done, only pure beans remain inside the box. The fermentation processes vary from 1 to 3 weeks to achieve different strengths of bitterness and different flavors. After dried and fermented to the right flavor and bitterness, the beans are getting ready to be shipped. That can be in boxes or in small to huge bags. Ooh, and I see we have a little map here of Korea. That's very cool. Let's just have a little peek here. So this is where we are, the desert land. I love the way people do maps, and you just kind of hover over things and have a little look-see. And here are chocolate plantations. Location of the one and only chocolate plantation. It is under the governance of the Desert Walker, the Sons of the Sand, the Merchant Guild of Pisacina. Very fun. I like the colors on this map. It's like, it's bright, it's nice. It's not just like the standard, like, you know, it's on a parchment and it's like kind of dark and dreary. Although I do really like those as well. It's a different mood. I think Eddie chose to make all/most of his prompts around chocolate. I love that. We love someone with a vision. Alright, distribution. The distribution of raw chocolate bean is managed by the Desert Walkers and only by them. There are 3 warehouses in Pisacina, one right at the plantations where most of the packing, sorting, and fermentation take place, and another one in the northern knee of the Long Neck mountain range. The last one is built in the city of Mayaris, where the Desert Walkers have 3 ships at hand to distribute larger quantities of chocolate beans, with a 4th ship in production. All of them are under the flag of the Port Mayaris, but contracted exclusively for the Merchant Guild. On land, the Desert Walkers have only their gold, but they contract mercenaries and guards from all over the continent to protect the plantations and the carriages. Every caravan is well armed and defended. a small army for every transport, including archers and mobile troops. No ordinary bandit would risk a second look in the direction of the caravan. Wow, so this chocolate is like very, very strongly guarded. And that's really cool to see. Like they're not letting anything happen to this. They're not taking any chances. Yeah, staying alive. Protect the chalky. Yes, indeed. It's very important to have my chalky milk, and I can't be having bandits stealing, running off with it. Yeah, not after the war. We can't be having this happen. But alright, since Pisacina is a rather warm land, and only a few regions are more or less tropic, mostly in the west, around that southern Longneck mountain range, there is the problem of getting enough water for the entire plantation. The solution? 2 really deep wells, and 1 aqueduct coming from the mountains, built with the help of some friendly and expensive dwarves. They bring the deep river water of theirs with chains and containers up to the surface and let it run through the aqueduct with a steering mechanism positioned at the bottom of the mountain. Oh, those dang expensive dwarves. They do get the job done, which is really good. So waves of serotonin and gold. While the desert walkers only have gold and therefore troops, they have allegiances to a various amount of dealers and manufacturers. In every larger city, sometimes in small villages, they have at least 2 dealers and 2 to 4 manufacturers. They grind and melt the beans and craft chocolate bars, cakes, pastries, and candy. 1 or 2 of the manufacturers specialize in the grind and melt process. And at least 1 manufacturer in Hulvar, the capital of Menvonger, only crafts things out of chocolate beans for the palace. In terms of payment, chocolate is one of the more luxurious items. It is rather expensive, and only on a few occasions, people without a fair amount of wealth can get a hand on a bean or a bar. The desert walker are getting a fair share of every purchased chocolate, be it bar, cake, candies, or pralines, which provides a good amount of gold for the desert walkers each month so they can secure their position. There was only one time in history where their position as the benefactors of the monopoly were endangered, forever known as the Chocolate War. But this is a story of another time. Very good. Oh, I think their labor is paid for in chocolate. Good deal, to be honest. Some axle grease and water and you get chocolate in return? Heck yes. Absolutely. But yes, this is a story for another time, so maybe at some point we'll find out about this war, this chocolate war. But I do see what you all mean when you say that he made all of his articles about chocolate. Because we have the chocolate fairy, we have the chocolate plantations, and we have the chocolate war.
Refresh yourselves.
And once again, thank you very much for the sippy. I'm gonna take 2 on that one because I feel like I need it. But yes, this is lovely. I'm gonna drop a little like down here. Let's see who is next on our list. Silver Quill by Faye. Some of you may or may not have been around yesterday during the chapter chats. I did get to listen to at least a little bit of Han and Faye talking about Table Tale, which is really awesome. And so now we get to look at one of the articles. So here we go, we have Silver Quill. And before I start reading, look at me, I'm improving. Here is the link for all of you. So please do enjoy. Go like, read, comment, just spread some love in this community. We are wearing our little Anvil Sailor's hat, and we are going to be leaving as much like and love as much as possible. Gosh darn, spinning image witchcraft. Yes, indeed. Oh. Listen, the CSS wizards are magic and a little bit concerning, but magic nonetheless. Alright, you've got to be kidding me. What is it? It's a silver quill. Those don't exist, Henry. Henry and his disbelieving friend. Mystical cyan, enchanting quills. In the depths of the oldest forest and older stories, amidst the dappled light and whispered words, resides a remarkable creature known as the silver quill. Their elegant appearance and elusive nature have captured the imagination of many, with their slender limbs and agile bodies moving them through the forest with a quiet grace. Each limb ends in a dainty paw, hiding retractable needle-like claws that assist in climbing and navigating the dense undergrowth. I love the little dainty paws. Anyway, upon their heads rest a pair of large, expressive eyes, shining with a mesmerizing cyan hue. These eyes, filled with intelligence and curiosity, allow the silver quills to survey their surroundings with keen precision. The soft velvety fur, colored with a vibrant cyan, glimmers with a gentle radiance, reflecting the dappled light that filters through the forest canopy. Amidst the sea of cyan, silver-tipped quills emerge, delicate as fine needles, sprouting from their backs, sides, and even their tails. These quills sway and shift, responding to the silver quill's emotions and intentions, creating an entrancing interplay of shadows and reflections. Oh, and finally starting to drift off, so I'm lurking and listening. Looking forward to reading these myself again in the morning. Yes, wonderful, thank you, and thank you for the lurk. Thanks for coming by, and thanks for submitting one of your articles. And I'm going to say right now that the way that this article is written is just so beautiful. I love just the way that they is using magic. Not magic. What? Wow, what word am I looking for? Just the way that they is using these wonderful, beautiful words. This witchcraft, yes, the witchcraft, of course. But yes, the way that this is like very, very prose-like in its nature. Like, it's very beautiful. Like, the beautiful vocabulary, kind of like poetic in its nature. It's so nice. Flowery, descriptive writing, I'm a fan of. Yes, with a delicate and dexterous grip, they effortlessly pluck fruits from branches and manipulate small objects with precision. This dexterity helps them harvest a vibrant assortment of fruits, delicate flowers, and other vegetation from their meals without harming trees and plants that they maneuver across all around. Harmonious glows, whispers flow. Like, the headers, like, they're poetic. I love it. The allure of the silver quill extends beyond its visual enchantment. It is said in its gentle, lilting chirps and subtle glow emanating from its cyan skin lies a profound connection to the natural world. The silver quill becomes a conduit of nature's wisdom, an emissary of balance and harmony. Its small, expressive eyes gleam with intelligence, as if holding the secrets of the forest within. In the realm of mythology and lore, the silver quill is whispered to hold mystical qualities. Some claim that gazing into its eyes can reveal hidden truths, while others believe that wearing a single silver-tipped quill brings good fortune and protection from malevolent forces. Such beliefs and legends have perpetuated the silver quill's symbolic significance throughout the ages, solidifying its role as an enigmatic creature that inspires imagination and wonder. So, in the realm of power and influence, it is not sheer might that reigns supreme, but the embodiment of grace, allure, and the ineffable power of symbolism. The silver quill, with its mystical cyan fur, enchanting silver-tipped quills, and the subtle glow from its skin, serves as a reminder that true power can emanate from the delicate, from the captivating, and from the ability to inspire profound emotions in the heart of all who encounter it. That is so nice. I love this article. Like, yes, you can find power in this like little unassuming cute thing. And it's so nice. It's just such a sweet concept. Yeah, so we have I just learned the word profound and now I see it everywhere. True, for sure.
Refresh yourselves.
And yes, sippy sippy. Very good, very good. Alright, and before I move on, I will share the link again. So that is the article that we have just read. So before we move on to the next, there you go. In case you missed it, in case you just popped in. Alright, so now we have Driskshell Thorgians. It's very... I don't know if this is the world header, is it? No, it isn't. Oh, so this is particular to this article. Alright, I will send you all this link as well. Here's the article that we are now reading, and ignore Moobot. That just automatically goes. Alright. Driskshell Thorgians. A lone man is blown away as easily as a pebble in the breeze. But united, a mountain will form and spread throughout the realms. For the Driscoll! Oh, what a dapper young fella, indeed. Or the Driscoll, my bad. My apologies. For the Driscoll. An old Thorgian saying. Alright, historical background. The Driscoll family ruled the kingdom of Thorgia from 822 to 1104 AAP, and were the most oppressive force on the Montura continent had ever seen. And this is the easternmost continent, which is known for its many forest and mountain regions. They were hardcore nationalistic dictators that ruled over the kingdom. Under the Driscoll, the kingdom almost entirely conquered Zavaris, Ulkinart, and Dordensvel. The population of mostly dwarves that lived under their reign were later in history called the Driscoll Thorgians, and are mostly regarded as brutal bastards that were responsible for killing millions of soldiers and civilians, though that is not the entire story, as it mostly is in history. Let's see what we have in the little sidebar here. Ruling organization is the Driscoll family. The date of instantiation was 822. Date of dispersion was 1104. First ruler, Vathrera Mountaintop Crown. Parent ethnicities are the Thorgians, and related organizations is once again the Driscoll family. Very fun. I like these images of like the actual soldiers, and like they look very brutal. And so that is definitely what I'm getting from this article. So let's see. Their naming traditions. During the reign of the Driscoll family, as a way to strengthen the nationalist mindset, no family names were given to the dwarves that lived there. Each name consisted of 3 parts. A chosen first name, a symbolization of the heights their child should reach in life. So Pebble, if they were a bastard son, or Diamond Speak for a royal member of the Driscoll family, and the occupation they are practicing, which is only determined later in life. So some examples include Darian Pebblesworth Smith, Arnis Boulderstrong Sage, and Vathrera Mountaintop Crown. So there are a lot of like assumptions and expectations, and just there's like a whole cultural lens of what they expect you to become, and they reflect it in your name. So if you are of a lower class, they are assuming that that is where you will remain. And so you get to be named something of a pebble, because they don't expect you to get any larger than that. It's a little dark, but sometimes that's just how it goes, you know? See, their beauty ideals. While dwarves normally are more laid back in their beauty and hygiene, especially in the mountains, the Thorgians were always a little more well put together. As the biggest weapon manufacturing kingdom in Montura, Thorgia was never isolated and often welcomed individual merchants, guilds, or ambassadors. Due to this influx of non-native visitors, the Thorgians were influenced in fashion, makeup, and generally beauty standards over time. Gender ideals. During the reign of the Driscoll, wars were fought left, right, and center, so there was no time to differentiate between man and woman. To quote the Driscoll themselves, "Yes, your daughter as well? What, she can hold an axe, can't she? Exactly. On with her, and Murdoch, take this man to the others receiving a lesson in etiquette at the moment." Soldier collecting new recruits for the 6th Driscoll War. So yes, man, woman, other, doesn't matter. You're going to war. Aftermath of the Driscoll dynasty. During the Driscoll's reign, weaponry and armor production skyrocketed. The arms race with other kingdoms inspired new war technologies and were transcendent during the wars themselves, and were a trade secret during the wars themselves. After the fall of the Driscoll family, the new diplomatic board took over and decided to capitalize on their advanced war inventory. Thorgia went from an oppressive force to researching and developing new war technologies which are distributed without discrimination throughout her realms. Now Thorgia is a neutral state that sells goods to the highest bidder, or rather, as long as the price is right. As for the Driscoll, they were eradicated in a large-scale assassination now dubbed as a Thordian liberation, where the then family leader, Corild Whole Mountain Crown, Her 2 brothers and their parents were murdered by Zavarian assassins. And so there you have it. I'll pop a little like over there. So this is pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Refresh yourselves.
And of course, thank you for the sippy again. You're being very dutiful with this. I appreciate it. Oh, and Oster as well.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, sadly, I must go to bed. If you happen to read about the organization, there's a bonus bad, I doubt that, drawing if you click on Gregory. I will level up my writing over the weekend. Have a good night, everyone. You have a good night as well. I'm sorry I couldn't read your article before you had to go. And this reads like a piece of European history, you know? I could definitely see it. But yes, thank you everyone for the little sippies. Yes, I will just drop another link here. Here you go. This is the article that we have just read. And we shall move on. The growing unrest in Central Tilth. There you go. And this is by Hallie the Moonlight Bard, one of my tomies. So this is wonderful. We love to see it. And let us get this little linky link in here. Some military conflict for you, everybody. So here we go. In addition to their adoption of the tenacious and clever winged sandfox as the symbol of this rebellion, they've managed to find at least one and probably several quality scribes from amongst the Matilth merchant class to produce some impressive propaganda materials, handbills, posters, and even instant graffiti. A quote from Shiv Moonsong. And so this is a rebellion in the year 6855 between the Man, Shadow of the Wing, and the Vermin, the Court of the Moon, and the United Guild of Scribes, Calligraphers, Illuminators, and Engravers. Very good. The Conflict. Prelude. Generations of systemic exploitation and degradation of the working class. Deployment. Someone has been sneaking loads of mural paper into the hands of the rebellion. Battlefield. The city of Central Tilth, and spreading quickly to the entire island of Tilth. And conditions. Generation upon generation of abuse heaped upon the working caste is finally coming to a head. In a place where nearly all forms of comfort and personal expression have been eliminated, how much worse can things get? Is death a punishment or a release? And the engagement, currently limited to a counter-offensive against the ruling caste propaganda. So let's see. Some of the strengths between these two belligerents. The Man is a coded euphemism used by the rebellion to refer to anyone that supports the caste system, but especially the Matilth ruling caste and their puppet master, the Shadow of the Wing. There is a unique strength found in sheer numbers, and to add to that righteous anger, and few forces in creation will survive a stand against such a force. The casualties. So far, for the Man, just a loss of perceived power. It's just now dawning on the elite, powerful oligarchs of the ruling caste that there is a problem which will not be solved with the new Edict of Principle. And casualty on the other side, the idea that compliance will make anything better. So they are learning that complying is not going to solve any problems whatsoever, which is it's a little too real, isn't it? And the objectives: maintain the status quo by uplifting the ruling caste. And the objective of the rebellion is equality and equity. Very good. And I love this little slogan, this little art piece. I've seen it floating around a little bit already, so I have seen it, but now I'm bestowing it upon all of you, my lovely viewers. So, historical significance in literature. Victor the Vermin says, "Eat the rich, devour the truth." In addition to editing pro-caste propaganda, the rebellion has begun manufacturing its own propaganda. Its message is both clear-cut and cryptic, at once encouraging readers to eat the rich, and more cryptically, to devour the truth. Given the city's association with the Shadow of the Wing, one can only assume that the ruling caste's public commitment to education and knowledge is not all it was promised to be. and technological advancement. While the movement began with striking out and rebranding positive messages within the districts, it has recently begun producing its own handbills featuring a winged sandfox named Victor the Vermin and the usual eat the rich, devour the truth messaging that has become the rallying cry for the movement. So yes, this is also a very fun conflict article. Sorry, my neck is just like causing me problems. Hee-hoo. Maybe taking a little sip will make it better.
Refresh yourselves.
I was already going for that one, so I'll take another. Yeah, so this was another fun read. I just love seeing this little guy over here. Freebie sippy. Yeah, there you go. Oh, and I've already liked it, so I can't do that. Yes, so this is good. I look forward to seeing how this rebellion kind of like grows and evolves, and what additional details and maybe even like examples of stories. Need another reward for big stretch. Oh, maybe. I mean, it's kind of shrimp check, but it's more of just like a stop sitting like a shrimp. But it is a little like sit up straight and stretch yourself. So maybe we'll see. I do need to find a couple more I need to find a couple more like little rewards and like redeemables to add in. And also, I don't know, I'm sure you've noticed, but we haven't stopped yet to acknowledge my little buddies that we now see in stream, just like at the wee bottom of the screen. Look at these little dudes. I got little stream avatars now. They're little. Didn't notice them. Yeah, they're down there. they're so fun. They it's stream avatars. Saw the birds hat. Wasn't sure how new they were. I added them just today. I was feeling inspired by another streamer that I was watching, and I was like, I need something like this on my stream. And so basically what they are is if you are following me and you actively speak in the chat, then one will pop up for you. And there's currently 3 different colors of pigeon. But I would like in the future to make it kind of like a thing where I add additional types and additional colors. Maybe we can leave it up to like viewer polls and, you know, community things. And so yeah, if you want to be a part of this, oh yes. So if you want to be a part of this and part of this decision in the future, feel free to. Question is, do the commands work? Yeah, the commands work. You can jump, you can dance. I still need to figure out exactly how stream avatars works, like, you know, like the full breadth of what you can accomplish with it. So for now, we just have these boys. These little boys down here. The dance is very short, but it does happen. I'm wondering if I can increase the length of the dance. Because right now it's only like 2 or 3 frames and then it just stops. I feel like it should be a little bit longer than that. But yeah, so we just have little burbs. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't like seeing their names just like popping up on someone's stream, so I decided to hide them. I figure better safe than sorry. But yes, feel free to join my Discord server, and if I do decide to be like, hey, you know, like we can set a little goal. What did I start with a comment suggestion? What you started is more stream engagement. So I'm not gonna complain. And yes, so I will once again share this little link with everyone. So that is the article that we've just finished, and onward to the next. Weird and Magic by our very own Oster 2000 here in the chat. Yee-hoo. Of course, I must, before I forget, new link. So here we go. We have Weird and Magic. I really like Like, just before we start off anything, I do really like the design of your world. It's very nice. Like, it's, you know, it's dark mode. It's very comfortable to read, comfortable to look at. And so I appreciate that. Also, I just like purple. It's a good color. Yeah, so here we go. We have weird and magic. Two great words. Bright mode gang, rise up. Well, listen, like I'm saying this as I'm jumping to my notes sheet, which is complete bright mode. So sorry to flashbang everyone for the example, but we don't discriminate. And pages of text are just so bright. Yeah. I was just saying that. Yes. While the information of the weird and magic remain mysterious, I have collected all I can into this file for you. A note from Warden O.B. Davies. Weird and magic are two supposedly independent supernatural forces that are believed to have been brought into our realm from a creature or powerful force that stems from outside the physical borders of our realm. The force's nature, level of sentience, and intentions remain currently unknown. There have been many events in the realm that draw back to these forces. While often referred to in the same breath, the two forces act independently upon the realm. While their independence is key, from the information that I've gathered, it is hypothesized that their origins among the realm are the same. And so we have the weird and we have the magic. Let's see, everything but my world and worlds is in dark mode. Makes for nice flashbangs. Yeah, you just like switch between your different tabs and it's just like bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. And it's just it's a long article. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, but that's not a bad thing. Certainly not a bad thing. So let's see. Force origin is unknown, and the point of entry unknown, but also named Stanos. The year of appearance is allegedly 1701 CY, and the impact on the realm is immeasurable. What a good word to use to describe the impact something has on your world. Alright, let's see. Weird. The weird seems to have a stronger grip on the realm's physical form, twisting reality and its features. The weird seems to work through the idea of transmutation and direct influence. It should be noted that weird detectors can identify the remnants of weird forces acted upon a location. However, it cannot detect who can harness the magic, nor the casting of magic. Weird is a strange case that cannot be controlled, and often, when one is inflicted by an element of weird, it stays with them for a long part of their life. Some people who have been afflicted lose their lives. However, those who survive are often kept by their government officials or join Arcanum to help learn more about the force that afflicted them. While not limited, some of the primary forms that weird has taken are listed below. Alright, and so this includes lycanthropy, an affliction of weird that causes a person with a raging inner monster. There will be a whole file on this, as these creatures have much recorded history among the Arcanum. Vampirism is a presentation of weird that forces a state of undeath onto a person. There are many rules that follow creatures who possess such an affliction, therefore, they will also garner their own file. And the Voidkith is a strange and unusual affliction. This is one that I have much to theorize about below. Voidkith seem to have an innate connection to a set of powerful entities that have not been named thus far in my research. And finally, undeath is a common side effect of weird. This often presents as ghostly figures or reanimated corpses. So that's a lot of fun. And we go back up and we read about magic. Magic seems to be a force that can be controlled, usually through the use of a focus or ancient runes from before the Old Front Empire. Of the two forces, magic is the reason we believe them to be sentient. It seems to choose those who can wield it and instill them with an innate understanding of how it works. There tend to be several people who have learned how to harness their magical potential to invoke ancient rites from the wild years, though there are few cases that report such a massive power contained in one individual. Unlike weird, there are numerous members of Arcanum Noctis who provide the ability to wield its magic in varied forms. Magic often takes one of 4 primary forms, each with a direct connection on how they can be wielded. And so now we see our examples of magic. And there's elementalism. Allows the user to control or create some physical matter of the realm, such as fire, shadow, light, and water. Summoning, which is a more dangerous form of magic. Good time zone, can't really sleep. I see you read my chocolate article. How's the stream going? Stream's going really good. And welcome in, Crazy Yeti. Good time zone, can't really sleep. I completely understand. Yes, we are currently reading Oster's Weird and Magic article. I will look at all this nerd. Yes, there's so much nerd in here. And you've popped in as I'm about to share this link. This is the article that we are reading right now, so Crazy Eddie, Grinning Hazard, if you would like to read along with us, you're more than welcome. Yes, we are sharing articles that have been submitted to SummerCamp, and so these are our little challenge entries from the community. Yeah, and of course I absolutely I absolutely recommend that everyone check out all of these articles anyway, just to go leave some likes and some nice comments, because everyone deserves a little bit of positivity.
Refresh yourselves.
More sips, thank you. I hope you like my chocolate war article. Oh my gosh. Eddie, when I opened your article, I looked at the header for your world. Okay, well hold on, I can literally still open it. I open it and I see this, and I'm like, oh my god, is this? I opened this chocolate article and there's like this war scene, it looks like, and I'm like, oh, is it just the world header for everything? I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, so there's a little misunderstanding, you see, and then I read like the first line, and it's like there's another war. And I'm like, oh, so it was a war. And then I go down and I see chocolate war, and I'm like, oh my goodness, everything here is chocolate, and there's war everywhere. So we love to see it. But yes, we must continue. Because where did we leave off? On summoning, yes. Summoning is a more dangerous form of magic, allows for the summoning of strange and powerful creatures. However, these creatures can lead to lethal consequences. An augury allows the user to look through time and space to learn of events. While not an exact science, there are elements of interpretation and truth to its ways. Let's see if we can sound out this word. Apotropaic allows the user to produce magical warding against physical, spiritual, and magical attacks. It is also said to allow a user to produce wards that are both powerful and small. So that's pretty fun. Let's just scroll back up to catch what's in the sidebar here. The strangeness of the universe. As I sit and write this file for the record we are collecting, I'm reminded of the fact that we know very little of the nature of these powerful forces. They just appeared one day centuries ago, imparting a powerful and unknown effect on the realm. I am considered by some in Arcanum to be an expert in this field, the study of the universe and the cosmos. However, even the limits and capabilities of the cosmos are truly beyond the scope of my understanding. I shall write some of my theories within this file to grant a certain point of view on the matter, though my hypotheses, like all claimed truths and theories of the universe, should be taken with a grain of salt. Oh dang it, my autocorrect put a C for that magical. Oh yeah, that happens. I don't know if you want me to point out like typos or anything. Like, I feel rude when I do that, but I know some people, like, want you to so that you know, don't have the typos anymore. Also, I noticed the pigeons are all, like, gathered in one little spot right now. Not anymore, they're kind of walking away. They're just hanging out. Jump. Yeah, see, the commands are fun, but then part of me is like, well, if they don't have names on them, you can't really tell which one you are until you start using them. But yes, so we have the two forces here. As mentioned, weird and magic are two separate forces, though it is often difficult to determine them from the other, as they are intrinsically linked. A creature brought forth through magic has often been twisted by weird in some respect. I hope to dispel the differences between these forces, and particularly how they affect the realm on a grander scale. Alright, so we have the emergence. I'm going to do back to an edit pass on the articles soon. Yeah, it's summer camp. We're all rushing to get these done as quickly as possible so we can share with everybody. Nino. Oh no, Nino was drifting off, and so he dropped a lurk. I don't know if he's still like here and alive. He could be. Certainly could be. But yes, the emergence. Some consider this to be a theoretical event. However, there are files under the care of Arcanum which indicate the truth behind the event. As such, the account contains both the mythologized version, sorry, I had to think about how to pronounce words for a second, as well as the reported version from witnesses who were at the source of the event. So let's read some of these personal theories. While some of these derive from reports and other theories, it is important to note that these are my own thoughts, and in some cases, contradict each other. My reason for placing these here are to emphasize that while I can speculate on the nature of weird, magic, and the cosmos at large, none of my theoretics can be proven correct without disproving others. Very fair. We like a self-aware researcher. But alright, the weird and magic are entropic forces. In this theory, it is important to note that the term entropic forces are used to indicate a type of force that doesn't exist in the normal realm that we reside in. I guess this is on my interpretation of a scientific approach to the forces. They are in battle with each other, acting like magnets do, repelling and attracting one another. Within this battle, the forces ripped a hole in the cosmic balance that is the universe and let themselves into the realm, upon which their fields of attraction and repulsion cast them throughout the realm and forced a new element of nature into our own world. Eldritch influence, also another excellent one. Going from a theory stooped in science to one drowned in faith and mystery, there's a part of me that is skeptical of the powers that are written within ancient carvings and runes from the wild years. There are some that speak of powerful, unnamed entities that have reached a hand down and guided us from the beginning of the very universe, yet this is not the only example. For other writings state that these entities were eternally hungry and would eat ancient people as playthings. This put me in a weird state of distress for the nature of weird and magic in this relationship. Are the gifts from eldritch beings, or seasoning on their meal before they enter our realm and feed upon our flesh, minds, and spirits? That is certainly a good question that I would love to find out myself. Oh, Crazy Eddie, you're asking how my summer camp is doing, and I hope I'm taking care of myself. I am absolutely doing my best. My summer camp is going quite well. I have not officially submitted any of my prompts yet. However, I do have 8 that are over 300 words. One of them is currently like pretty well formatted, and so that one might be ready. That one might even be ready to share actually on stream today. We'll see. But yes, I'm unofficial copper, and so I'm doing my best to take care of myself and take things easy and just kind of let the progress come as as it does. Oh, good to hear. Yeah, so I'm doing my best. Things aren't going like super quick, but it's alright. But yes, an eclipse of a nation. Branded as heretics among the nations of Pharaoh and Marine, the people of Voron are said to have been worshippers of a powerful ancient entity whose name has been lost to the sands of time. One day, in the afterglow of the Old Front Empire, the leadership of Voron attempted an ancient ritual to summon this entity. By doing so, they caused a large, complete eclipse that incurred darkness over Stanos. When the eclipse occurred, a large selection of colors lined the skies. These colors are said to have reached out and touched certain people, thereby imbuing them with powerful connections to magic. The glow of the realm activated a powerful force that was buried deep in the cracks of the realm. This powerful force was known as Weird. However, while people of Voron were able to summon this powerful rite of forces onto the realm, their hubris was believing it came without a cost. It became clear to the people in the city that their wish being granted, that they're being wished to garnish a blood cost for the gift that was bestowed onto the realm. It was then that the mountain that had been carved, nearly hollow, containing Voron, was crushed into piles of rubble. Dang. So once the eclipse passed, many people didn't have an idea of the powers that the people of Voron had bestowed onto the realm, nor the sacrifice that had been made by the city for the forces of nature that now inhabited the realm. Dang, so they summoned this magic into the world and then subsequently all died. So now no one knows where it came from or what even happened. We love a little mystery in our fantasy. The story is told as part of a historical classes that are prominent among those who receive education, particularly in Pharaoh, as a way to tell people of the power of the celestial objects and identify that at one point in our history we thrived without magic, therefore diluting down the importance and even status of those who harness magic. It is important also to note that the weird is not mentioned in these lessons as if it was to be hidden from the view of the population, sweeping it under a rug. Plan successfully failed, I guess. True. Alright, now we have the reported events. Despite the tales that are written, not every person from Varan was killed. Oh, there are some survivors. There are reports that I hold transcripts of in my hand that show at least 3 families were able to escape from the destruction of Varan, each playing a pivotal role in the development of Arcanum, with the heads of each family acting as founding member of the entire organization, as well as the orders of Ex Veritaseum and Tenebras Magicarum. Ooh. It is reported that the leading council of Iran had been indoctrinated by a singular member to follow the rites written in a book that has since remained untraceable due to the destruction that it left in its wake. When they invoked a ritual of summoning on the date of a complete eclipse, a powerful entity attempted to reach through the void the rite created in the center of the eclipse. When the creature attempted to cross from the plane of existence to ours, it is written that one of the family members, I won't say which for the privacy of our organization's history, leaped into action and disturbed the ritual. By doing so, they doomed most of Iran, except for a small set of ruins that survive to this day. The creature laid siege using its physical might to destroy a whole mountain. The families were able to survive using a piece of magic that predated this event that transported several of their members to a safe place in the south of Pharaoh, from which they were able to witness the carnage that was to be laid upon their homes. While this eldritch creature was pulled back to the realm from which they came, some of the reports noted that a large eye was seen in the void of the eclipse, and it was from that eye that the colors lined the sky. The reports and writings that I have access to don't seem to set forth an indication of what this may mean or the validity of what is written, but I trust it is more than the mythological propaganda that is spread by fear-mongering governments. Very true. And so let's see. The weird and magic are one and the same. This is another theory. I understand that earlier in this file I noted that my aim was to dispel the understanding that the forces were 2 different things in their entirety. However, there has always been an itching in the back of my mind that they are not only connected, but are 2 parts of the same singular force. There are heavy elements of overlap between the 2 forces, with only certain elements where they diverge. What would occur should the 2 forces be driven into a singular energy force? This is a good question indeed. So, we have our conclusion. It is unfortunate that I can only postulate on this topic. There is much that I would wish to know, particularly if these forces originate from another realm of being so powerful they could destroy a mountain without thought. We are only able to detect weird through the use of malachite. Magic, however, currently remains undetectable by those of us who don't possess the skill to utilize augury to determine the truth of a situation. Regardless, there are many questions that I still have, and should this get through to the right people, I hope that I can update this information should more facts come out of the woodwork. I wish there was just a way to see the forces directly so I can trace their potentiality and test the theories I possess. Very
Refresh
good.
yourselves.
And thank you for the sippy now that you know we're finished with the article. Oh, and another one.
Refresh yourselves.
You guys are taking such good care of me today. Thank you very much. So we drop a little likey here, and of course we gotta drop the link once again because this is the article that we have just finished. It was a long one. It was indeed a very long article, but it was really cool. I know we were talking a little bit earlier about how I love articles that are just kind of, that just have at least some aspect of telling a story like in character. And you did mention like your entire world is basically, oh, I have the same mug in the coffee variant. This is the coffee variant, so it is the same mug. Look at us go. Although we were joking with the World Anvil team that they should make me a grab your sippy and go world build mug. But I've yet to hear back on that. But yeah, I love articles that are written in like this kind of in-character, in-world perspective. Because it makes you as the reader feel a lot more kind of connected. Like you are someone that is getting this story from somebody, and not that you are just reading a Wikipedia, like, of a world. But of course, it's so hard for me to say that because I also love reading things like they're a Wikipedia of just like, here are the facts. Here's everything you could ever need to know. So I don't know, it's two different moods, you know what I mean? It feels really cool to have like a in-character, in-world perspective on things. So yeah, lots of good stuff happening. And so let's see who is next. We have our Shadow Imps from Kajitan Writes. Yet another one of my tomies. In case you don't know, I am the leader of the 7 Tomes chapter over on World Anvil. We are a fantasy-oriented chapter, and I have some very, very big projects planned for us in the future. Though, of course, we're putting all of that on hold until after summer camp, because oh my god, if I put one more thing on my plate this month, I'm going to, like, scream, cry, throw up, and probably perish. Allegedly. But no, I'm planning on a lot of things. I'm working on a lot of new, I'm working on my chapter homepage. We have a list of rules out for the chapter. I'm working on an About Us page. You know, like there's just a lot of stuff going on for this chapter that I'm super excited about. Because like they passed me the leadership hat and I'm putting it to use. Alright, with it passing 1:30 a.m. it is time for me to head to bed. I will note on the tome reference, I wish there was a second chapter membership allowed. Well, don't you worry, because I fully intend to introduce collaborations with the community at large, so you don't need to join the chapter to at least hang out with us sometimes. But yes, you have a wonderful, fantastic night. Thank you so much for sharing your article with us and letting me read it on stream and share it with the rest of my viewers here. And of course, Science Fantasy World stories are in character. The more wiki-style articles are narrated by a being called Dave. I have both. And Corey has more wiki with a bit of prose. Yeah, good night, Oster. Have a wonderful night. 2:30 a.m. going strong. Yes. See, I am in the 8:30 p.m. club, so things are pretty good over here. It's not yet time for sleep. But yes, we have Shadow Imps from Kajitan's world. So let's get into this. Not all creatures of shadow magic are deadly to people. Shadow imps are one such example. The size of a child, they are known for being mischievous and causing chaos wherever they go. In cities, they make artisans' tools go missing or steal products from merchants. Outside of cities, they prey on farms. Their favorite is to steal eggs from hens. Hey, imp! Get back here! A merchant after losing a product. Ave Europa and all that. Yeah, true. Listen, I know that most of my audience are all of you Europeans over there in the World Anvil community, but I also know that a lot of world builders just don't sleep. Hence why so many of you are here at like 1:30, 2:30 a.m. You guys, you're crazy, but I love you guys. Alright, so appearance. Shadow imps are humanoid in appearance. They walk on 2 legs and have 2 hands free to manipulate objects. In my defense, it is 21:37 here. 10. Yes? No? Oh my gosh, I can't do numbers right now. No, 9:30. 9:30. Yeah, okay, I got it. Woohoo. I forgot how to do math for a second. I'm like counting on my fingers. My counting was right. I just for some reason did a different part of the counting wrong. So it's 8:37, gang. Yes, East Coast represent. Yes, their ears, however, have more in common with the elves than with humans in its pointy shape. They appear very skinny, like they had almost no muscles under their dark gray skin. Imps also have very little hair on their heads, and what they have is so white that it is almost invisible. Quick question, you save the stream as VOD for a few days? I save the streams for VODs forever. actually. So yes, the streams are going to be available, I believe, for 60 days on my Twitch channel. And I also upload all of my VODs over to a YouTube channel, the Strixline Archive. Maybe one day I'll start like editing my VODs into more interesting things for YouTube, but for now I just like grab them from Twitch and put them on YouTube. And so they're there forever. So you could go back to my very first streams, like back from World Ember, and you can go watch those on my YouTube channel right now. Scandinavia representing. Ooh. For a few days. Really nice doing the same as well. Heck yeah. Yeah, so all my VODs are, you know, they're forever. So now I'm learning Norwegian. Oh, very cool. All right, so their habitat. Shadow imps live in almost every area of the world. They can be found in the Shadow Forest, the Shadow Realm, and many other places. They like spending time close to people as it gives them opportunities to be mischievous and play tricks. Their tricks often result in humans being annoyed and angry. Many merchants employ special guards who are on the lookout for shadow imps. And their origin. Same as the shadow monsters of the Shadow Forest, shadow ghosts and shadow sea monsters. Shadow imps are the creation of shadow magic. However, unlike the other types of shadow creatures, their physical form seems to be solid and not ethereal. Additionally, they are much less violent than others. Proposers of the theory that shadow magic killed the elves don't have any concrete explanation for why a mischievous creature was created for that purpose. In my opinion, shadow imps served as saboteurs and skirmishers for the shadow forces which destroyed the elves. They sowed confusion and chaos among the elves. A quote from a scholar. Alright, so here we have a little shadow imp. And their lifespan. They are immortal, but they can be killed. So they live forever, but they can be ended at any time. So they average about a height of 1 meter, and an average weight of about 18 kilograms. Very cool. So that one was short and sweet, but I do like these little creatures, these shadow imps, and I'm curious because it does specify that there are other shadow creatures. So they're other shadow creatures, and they're creations of shadow magic. But unlike most other shadow creatures, these are like a solid physical form. Oh, no, thank you, CM Nugget, for the sippy. You were keeping the little tradition going of giving me sippies every time I finish an article, which is great. Oh, yep, but everyone's catching on. Here we go. Oh, wow, the mug's almost empty. Look at us go. All right, and I will link this article just one more time because it is now finished. And if you enjoyed the article, absolutely go leave some likes and comments. Shower my friends with love. This community deserves it. All right, and so now we have an article from Drunken Panda. Drunken Panda is a wonderful member of our community. I got to hang out with him when we were at D20 at Sea. I got to hang out with him, Janet, and Dimmy, and we had a blast over in California. And so, yeah, I look forward to future meetings and hanging out with him. He's just an excellent overall being in the community. And so, here's our next article. We have Epson Quills from Drunken Panda's Kotalo world. We start off with a quote. Look, I'm not saying all magical research is bad, but whatever idiot decided to create these stupid things deserves whatever punishment the afterlife can throw at him. A very strong quote from Jasper Cameron, leader of the Bronze Ravens. Excerpt from the slightly charred research journal of Kodak Canon Epson. Hopefully by now you understand what is going down here. Oh, having a meeting with the Shadow Phoenix next weekend? Yes, oh my gosh, I remember you guys talking about that in the chat, and I was like, oh, I wish I lived close to, like, any of you so I could join in on shenanigans like this. But everyone's so far away. Everyone's so far. But yes, with a name, like for this article, move to Europe? Could be a dream, actually. But we'll see. I have like, you know, I'm a LARPer, and so I don't want to necessarily just leave all of my communities behind. Excuse me, I had to cough. Yeah, so I'm part of like a couple LARP communities, and I don't want to just, you know, leave them all behind. But I feel like living in Europe could just be a lot nicer than living in the US. Very possible. There's such a big LARPing scene in Scandinavia. I believe it. And like I've seen some of it. And like I would love to like dip my toes into there and see if I like it at some point. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yes, I think like with the name of this article, the Epson quills, and the name of the person who discovered it, Kodak Canon Epson. Things are kind of, it's all in print. But here's this excerpt. Honestly, the intent of my experiment would have no doubt benefited the world. Imagine an animated quill that never runs out of ink, never needs to return to the bottle. Notes taken in a lab without having to pause an experiment. Making a copy of a book or spell text simply by carefully reading the original. Oh, how wild magic changes! Your cyan ink bottle is empty! Please refill your cyan ink bottle! Damn it, I thought we had all these things in containment! Oh, but you're willing to write that, are you? I'll teach you. The rest of the page has been burnt away. So he's in the middle of dictating this excerpt, and then just... It did run out of ink, but it will write down that you're out of ink. That's so good, and very... That's a printer for you. And so what makes a species? Are Epson quills even alive? This is up for some debate among magical communities of the world. We will not be discussing that here. They can move, possess some measure of rudimentary awareness and self-preservation instinct, and can undoubtedly reproduce. That's terrifying. Although their methods of doing so remain a mystery. Also terrifying. For the purposes of this, we will consider them alive and a species. Let's see, what are we talking about? Doesn't Germany have the largest LARPing scenes in the world? That would give me an excuse to learn German again, or like, you know, continue my studies of German. I took 2 semesters of German in college. Pretty much all of it has been forgotten at this point, so I do apologize. I cannot just bust out the German right now because I've forgotten pretty much all of it. Mein Name ist Paulina. That's all I got for you right now. Oh no, wir haben nur das Feinste vom Fleisch. That was our favorite sentence in class. That was perfect. Why, thank you. I don't have like the vocab anymore. Like I've forgotten like all the stuff, but I'm sure I could pick it up if I started learning it for real. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was our silly little phrase that we really liked in that class that we just kind of made up one day, and our professor was like, "Yeah, good work." Oh, she was wonderful. I loved our professor. But yeah, here we go. These quills appear as any other animated or dictation quill, if you will, but there are a few things that set them apart. First, rather than being linked to one single ink bottle, as is the standard, they will link to every ink bottle in an increasingly large area. Should one of these ink bottles run empty for any reason, they will repeatedly write out which specific ink needs to be refilled, regardless of whether the current work requires that ink or not. That is the most printer thing I've ever heard. They will unfortunately also take control of all other quills in the area, magical or mundane, link to them to the network, thus reproducing, and then those quills will propagate the same message. Luckily, the area of influence appears to grow as a logarithmic function, approaching an upper limit, although we have yet to determine what that limit is. During the initial creation of Epson quills, only 5 were created. By the time the danger was realized, nearly 17,000 quills across the College of Silmir were displaying these unfortunate tendencies. We had thought that all quills in the question were rounded up and burned with prejudice, but apparently some escaped. And they have been cropping up here and there across the world ever since. Let this be a lesson as to why magical research should be kept strictly theoretical. During times of Viridian 3, ink bottle is empty. I I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, how did Phoenix phrase it? Chocolate War sounds so cute, but if you say it in German, it's like an angry battle cry. Schokoladenkrieg. Yeah, there you go. It just sounds angry. And of course, I have to give a like to this article. This article is absolutely hysterical. I I love reading this, and I need to share it with everybody. This is so cute. You basically put a real life printer and all of the terrible, terrible things that printers do. Thank you for the sip. Oh, and you are the deliverer of the final sip. Not the final sip of the stream, but the final sip of the mug. You know, I should really have like some kind of reward for whoever empties my mug during streams. It's like whoever gets the final sip. And I've actually just a conductor of the sippy. Oh, more likes to the quills. Yes, absolutely. I find it so funny. I'm like, it's so creative, you know? Just you're taking a very like real world thing and then like spinning it in a humorous way into just like this menace to society, pretty much. And hold on, this one was for, yes, a species known for its mischievous personality. And this species prompt is actually the one I got the most submissions for, which is really fun. Because we have yet another. Let's see, we have one, two, three, four submissions for this mischievous species prompt. And we have our next one, the bog frog. Isn't that wonderful? So here you go. Here's the link to this next article, including the chocolate fairy. Oh, well, I haven't been submitted to the chocolate fairy for this. Oh, bog frogs, froge, yes. Keep Nazara clean. No bog frogs. See 'em, squish 'em. Yeah, so PSA, bog frogs are disgusting and slimy vermin that will invade your house yearly and leave you to clean up the mess. They're faster and jump farther than you. Check your house and keep your doors and windows shut. That is so funny. Wasn't a joke. Submitted the fairy yesterday. Yeah, no, I believe it. It wasn't submitted to me personally. CB Doodles, these bog frogs sound like trouble. They sure do. Well, it was submitted to a prompt talking about your mischievous natured creatures. And so, I certainly hope that they are a little bit of a problem. It just makes it more fun. So yes, let's see. They have a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that. No worries. Absolutely no worries. Conservation status, invasive. Hence, squish them, get rid of them. The average weight, 1 to 2 pounds. Average length, 6 to 8 inches. Body tint, coloring, and marketing. They are brown, green, yellow-green with darker patches or stripes along the back and legs. And they are primarily found in Nazara. Let's see, frog spotting. Bog frogs are easy to spot. They look like frogs! They're brown, green, or an ugly yellow-green, sometimes multiple colors at once. Some have spots or stripes because of course they do. They're the size of your hand, and that's too big for how agile they are. I just need to say I love the energy of this article so much. I think this is another one of those examples of like, this is an in-world text that we were reading. Like, this is a PSA that someone has put out, and they hate these frogs. They just, like, they have it out for these creatures, and I love that. Alright, some of them have orange throat patches, just to be even uglier. Oh my god. Yeah, they are so passionate about hating these frogs. I'm gonna have to take some time to draw these things now. At some point. Maybe not today. But yet they're so opinionated. They hate them. So they're most active around dawn and dusk. Check near bright lights or patches of flowers where the bog frogs eat. Hiding places. Don't leave out anything colorful, or else the bog frogs will cover it in slime. They love bright colors. Apparently they look like flowers. All caps, bog frogs are stupid. They can't tell the difference between a flower and your tapestry. They will get into your bowls and cabinets unless you keep them shut and locked. They're supposed to live outside in the reeds, but no, they have to come inside every year where they're not wanted. And if you see black balls in the water, those are eggs, not squish bubbles. Do not eat. Oh, what are squish bubbles? Black gelatinous balls that are good to eat and look exactly like bog frog eggs. That's no good. It sounds like someone might have had some accidents with eating them and is now warning the populace that there's a little concern there. All right, they belong outside. Bog frogs shouldn't be in Nazara, but at the very least, they need to be outside. They make for terrible pets. Outside, they need to fend for themselves and won't ruin your home in the process. This includes keeping the froglets away from the underside of your home. Keep the frogs away from people and out in nature. They don't belong there, but they belong in your home even less. If you see even one in your home, squish them. Stop feeding frogs. The frogs aren't starving. They have insects to eat. They especially like the insects you find annoying, like the flying biting insects. If you feed the frogs, they'll be less motivated to eat the insects we hate, but they think are delicious. So do everyone a favor and stop feeding the bog frogs your food and let them hunt for themselves. Not to mention, fish cake doesn't taste very good to a bog frog. It's good to know. Well, if fish cake doesn't taste very good to a bog frog, wouldn't you want to feed that to them so they go away, maybe? I don't know. They'll probably still stick around because you're giving them food anyway. So let's see, we got the bog frog life cycle right here. Egg. Frog eggs look exactly like squish bubbles. I found a clutch of them in my water cup and I drank them. Oh, so I was right. They did have a personal experience that they were warning against. It was awful. They taste like slime and salt. 0 out of 12. Do not recommend. I do appreciate that their ranking system is out of 12 and not 10. I'm wondering if that's specific to their world or just a flavor of the moment. Right before hatching, you can see the baby bog frogs moving. It's so gross. They need to be in the water to hatch. They will not survive out of water, but don't freeze them. They can survive being frozen. Tadpole. The only good thing about the tadpoles is that they eat insect larvae, so fewer bugs. They look like heads with tails. It's weird and gross. It's weird and gross. They swim around and eat and eat and eat. That's all they do. Swim and eat. The other only good thing about tadpoles is that they can't jump. So at least they stay in the water. That's where the bog frog should be, in the water. They don't spend nearly long enough as tadpoles. They stop being tadpoles at the end of summer when they start to grow legs. Their mistake. Base 12 is such a gorgeous system and easy to count on one hand. Is it? Oh, easy on one hand. Okay, I got you. Understandable. So I was thinking on 2 hands. We got 10 on 2 hands. Yeah. 12 base counting was more common in medieval times when people had more fingers. True. Very true. Froglet. The stinkers grow legs so they can crawl out of the water. This person gets even more points for using the word stinkers in an article. I love that. They still have the tail and the front legs develop after the back legs, so they spend a few minor cycles able to jump, but not land. They crawl to better ponds and water with more food and warmer conditions. The smart ones stay out of homes. The dumb ones, and there are a lot of dumb ones, move in under houses. Salt the water under your house and you won't have as many. They don't like really salty water. Be careful where you step. It's easy for them to end up clustered in front of your door or in your shoes. See them, squish them. Count with the thumb the segments of the other 4 fingers. Bam, 12 on one hand, not 10 on 2 hands. True. Yeah, I kind of figured out what you were referring to. But yeah, it is cool. It's a very interesting system. Let's see. Adult male. By spring, the froglets that have somehow survived the winter are now adults and look different. You couldn't tell them apart now, and now you can barely tell them apart. The males are slightly bigger, slightly being the key word. They're territorial and fight other males by ribbing at them. I don't know how that solves any conflicts, but use your words, I guess. The problem is that they all gather and ribbit at each other all night long. Good night, sleep. Or goodbye, sleep. 100 actually used to mean 120. 1,000 was 1,200. Ooh. We're getting some deep lore about numbers. Alright, so let's see. Adult female. The adult females are the worst. They're the reason there are more frogs every year. They carry their unfertilized eggs on their back to protect them, or something like that. As many as 100 of them at once. So now I'm wondering, does 100 mean 120 in this world? And before she can make the eggs, she needs to eat a fish. Extra protein, but I don't buy that. Once the eggs are fertilized, she dumps them off somewhere, eats another fish, and makes more eggs. And she can keep doing that until the males decide the breeding season is over, year after year. Mating. For anyone who isn't a bog frog, this is the worst time of the year. They gather in dense throngs with males ribbiting at each other all night long. The females have to make their way over to where the strongest male is. How they decide that, no one really knows. She gets down under the male, he fertilizes the eggs on her back, and away she goes to lay them and abandon them. It lasts for cycles, and it's awful. This is also where they're most likely to be in your home, trying to find the best place to attract a mate. Who knows what their criteria is? I sure don't. Alright, bog frog. Fact or fiction? Bog frogs cause property damage. So we got little spoilers here. I love seeing this. True. Bog frogs cause 50,000 talents worth of damage every year. A house that's destroyed by bog frogs can cost over 750 talents in repairs. They also cause irreparable damage with their slime. Alright, fact or fiction, bog frogs can jump 3 times their length. False. Bog frogs can jump about 10 times their body length or 4 times their length, including their back legs. They are incredibly powerful jumpers, and their reflexes are about 2.5 times as fast as yours. Bog frogs are insectivores. False. While insects make up the majority of a bog frog's diet, they're opportunistic eaters. Female bog frogs eat fish before producing eggs, and male bog frogs have been known to eat small river rodents. Alright, frog racing is an ethical sport. False. Frogs jump to escape danger. Frog racing puts a lot of stress on the frogs, and the winning frogs are often the most terrified. These are all wild frogs who did not choose to be a racing frog. If you care about the frogs, do not support frog racing. I'm getting a lot of mixed signals here. It's like, do they care about these frogs, or do they think they're awful and ugly and terrible? I mean, it's still not ethical to race them, probably, whether you like them or not. Let's see, most tadpoles survive to adulthood. True. There are no natural predators to bog frogs. They face the most risk as eggs, when birds and other reptiles will eat them, but once they hatch, few animals are interested in eating bog frogs. This allows most of them to survive into adulthood. As adults, they have even fewer natural predators because they can jump away fast enough to avoid being eaten. Let's see, bog frogs are harmless to the environment. False. Bog frogs are an invasive species to Nazara. They outcompete with other animals for the same resources. Female bog frogs can eat entire schools of minnows, which form a vital component to the natural ecosystem. And let's see, CM Squishum is trying to restore Nazara's natural ecosystem. True. We care about preserving Nazara's existing beauty and oppose the exploitative natures that keep bog frogs around. We want to see native birds and fish return to the area, and eradicating bog frogs is the first step towards that. And this is brought to you by CM Squishum, a movement to eradicate bog frogs. Contact your local SESE chapter to learn more about how you can help cleanse Nazara of bog frogs. We have to go look at what's in the sidebar here.
Refresh yourselves.
Ooh, Preppy Monty Poppycock, you're a little bit too late, but I will take the sippy nonetheless. Oh, too early. Not too late. Too early, but I will take the sippy nonetheless. Premature. It's alright. We have a freshly filled mug of water. And so, we are ready to keep sipping. Alright, we have the Frog Festival. I got excited. Yes, every year the whole region hosts this Frog Festival. Like, they're cute and special. These are pests. I'll be glad when I never have to see another frog mural, banner, or actual frog in a dress. How conked in the head do you have to be to think that it's cute? Everywhere you go, there are bog frogs. Ban Frog Fest. Send these slimy vermin back to the swamps where they belong. Frog racing. Whoever invented frog racing literally created the worst sport to exist, if you can call it a sport. Us people don't even do anything. It's the frogs that do all the work, and no one likes them. It's so boring to watch. Half the time, the frogs just sit there breathing. Who wants to watch a frog breathe? Sure, they're great jumpers, that's why I hate them. We shouldn't be celebrating them for jumping. That would be like celebrating a cat for eating mice. Instead, everyone stands around the racetrack waving brightly colored flags and yelling. No wonder the frogs don't move. I wouldn't move either if I was as big as a frog. It's a stupid sport, and why anyone decided that bog frogs were the best for it is beyond me. I love their attitude towards these frogs. It's just, yes, like they have so many opinions. Did you know? 10 facts about bog frogs. Bog frogs have dark-colored markings to help them camouflage in the mud. Bog frogs are the only frog species on coast to mate multiple times during the mating season. Bog frogs can hibernate during the winter and regain full mobility once they thaw out. Bog frogs can see almost 360 degrees around themselves. The ear is called a tymphanum. It allows bog frogs to hear insect wing beats when they hunt. Very cool. Bog frogs jump like a loaded spring, and the muscles tense up so the frog is able to take off again right away. Bog frogs eat fruit in addition to insects. The oldest known bog frog, named Frogella, lived to be 14 years old. Bog frogs were first recorded in 633 EDK, which is Era of the Dragon Kings. I love when people put a tooltip on like their era names, because I would have no idea otherwise. And so we have the children's story, The Frog and the Heron, is about a bog frog. Look at that. Must have been a very fast heron then, because every single one of these entries is like, these things are fast.
Refresh yourselves.
Their reflexes are too fast for you. And thank you for the sippy once again. Alright, we give that article a like. I know Alishar was here at one point a little earlier. I don't know if they left already. Oh no, Alishar did say I had a blast writing this, and I had a blast reading this. Thank you so much for submitting this. This would be my favorite. Yeah, it's so good. Just that attitude is just so good. You conveyed so much, like, just complete disdain for these creatures from whoever was writing this PSA. Just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. I must share this link once again for everyone who wishes to go read about these bog frogs some more. Although, you know, following in the feelings shared by this person, like, why would you want to? These things are terrible. You should just forget about them. But I don't really mean that. This article's awesome. Alright. We have 2 more on this list, and I need to go acquire another article from a different list that I was looking at as well. Bog frog golf. Somehow I feel like that's even less ethical than, I somehow feel like that's even less ethical than the frog races that they were already talking about being unethical. But alright, let's see, I just want to pull up real quick this list that was sent to me as well, so I can just kind of pick something out. So let's see. Ba-da-bum-bum. But yes, on our screen right now is the article, How Are You Still Alive? From Rin, Those Two Nerds. So heck yes. And I'm still just perusing this list, so I'm gonna take like a couple seconds just to be looking. I will take this moment to just ask everyone here, like, how are your summer camps going? Do you have a favorite prompt that you've worked on and submitted? Is there a particular prompt that's been like really challenging to you? I know that I had at least 2 prompts that I really had to fight for my life for to get that 300 word count. And you know, it's still not actually submitted, and I still have a couple prompts that I don't even have an idea for. And so it is a toughie. Definitely a toughie. Alright, so we will add this article to our list then. Beautiful, beautiful. Club Moon, hi again. Hello. Welcome in, how are you? Yeah, title was a real challenge. 420 words and it felt like forever. Yeah, the title prompt, I had an idea for it, and I wrote about the thing that I intended to write about. But I was telling everyone in the summer camp chat, like, I felt like I was in high school again, trying to pad out like the word count of my essay by rewriting the same sentence like 6 different times. You know, so we're definitely gonna have to do some refining once we get to the actual like editing stage. Dreading working on the organization and conflict because I know they're going to be behemoths. Yeah, I'm working on a Pantheon article for my organization. And so we are kind of just in this process of deciding who is in it and what purpose they serve and how I can describe that to everyone and how to make it interesting more than just like, here are gods in this pantheon. I want to know what else I can write about them, you know what I mean? But alright, so here's a link to this article that we're about to read. Just keep it close, keep it tight. If you want to read along, read at your own pace, you are more than welcome. But yes, this is How Are You Still Alive? AKA the Nisoran Platypus. Wonderful. Alright. Description. I have it in my tabs already. Good. With 8 legs, vibrant colors, bizarre patterning, and kaleidoscopic biofluorescence, the Nisoran platypus is a mockery of evolution and a symbol for the need of regulation in genetic engineering. Off to a good start already. I would wait for pantheons until the relic prompts. Well, luckily for me, there are more pantheons than just one. But at the same time, if I decide that my Pantheon article better fits a different prompt, I can just resubmit it to the other prompt and then write something new for the original one. We'll see. But for now, that's just what I'm writing. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, it's a very strong start to an article to say that a creature is a mockery of evolution and the symbol of a need for regulation in genetic engineering. So yeah. But in the 2900s, a group of self-proclaimed gene hackers in a secluded lab in Nisoran marshlands spent decades stitching genes into innocent creatures. Nature now reclaims the abandoned crime scene, its former inhabitants long forgotten, yet the Nisoran platypus remains as evidence of their ignorance. Their Earth-based namesake was the starting point of the Nisoran platypi, as genes from other creatures were forced upon them with no concern for their well-being. The additional legs provide no improved mobility, and the fur coloring makes them easy for both predators and prey to spot. Their survival instinct is gone, replaced with an insatiable curiosity. The mindless creatures waddle up to anything that piques their interest, whether ferocious beast, raging waterfall, or other chopping block, figurative or literal. Everywhere they go, their snooping causes disruptions and mayhem as they upend hives, invade nests, and fall from inexplicable heights. These poor creatures. Like, they truly are a victim of this gene splicing. These poor little things. Let's see. Their vocalizations, they growl like a dog, they squeak like a dog's toy, they purr and trill like a cat or a concerning engine. They live about 24 years. Let's see if I can pronounce a scientific name. Ornithorhynchus vanusinus. There you go. Average weight, 3 to 5 pounds. Average length, 12 to 18 inches. And they're distributed primarily in Nisora. O-line, and for your question, how it's going and what most to be proud of, 7 out of 10, 8th planned for tomorrow, and most proud of in Korea is obviously chocolate. And in science fantasy world, the purple cataclysm. Ooh, that sounds really cool. I would like to read that at some point. I don't know, you combine the color purple, which I love, and then cataclysms, which is also just another thing that I love, and you put them together, and I'm interested. But yeah, I am sitting myself on unofficial copper. I have 300 words in 8 articles right now. And so I just need to... All that's holding me back right now from submitting them is making sure that they look nice enough for me to be okay with people seeing them. That's really all it is. And I'll share with you guys maybe the article that I do have that's like, been worked on. So it's not finished, but it is like visually at a level where I'd be okay with submitting it. And so yeah, I'll share that last, like at the end of my list. I want to make sure that everyone else gets a chance first, because this is me reading other people's articles, so I'll finish with my own. Oh yeah, so in the wild, any creatures housed within the gene engineering facility were left to fend for themselves. Most didn't survive long, but this platypus has against all odds. More bizarre, they've endeared themselves to their would-be predators and are often found sleeping alongside even the most territorial creatures. Some of these creatures seem to claim the platypus as their pet and will defend it as they would their own young. So is this like the capybara effect? Like they're just so lovely, every creature out there loves them? The main thing keeping the platypus population low is their own propensity to falling into natural traps. Their means of survival is other creatures taking care of them. That's so sad, but so sweet. And let's see, their notable characteristics: indestructible. What? Escape artist, possibly quantum. The more I find out about these creatures, the more I'm concerned. But they're also affectionate and curious and unintelligent. My bad, I almost misread that. These are unintelligent creatures, and they are mischievous. Possible cross-section of curiosity and lack of intelligence. Gosh. Alright, it's just so sad. I can link it if you want. Yeah, for sure, you can link it. I probably won't read it, like, during the stream, because, like, I'm over time already, but that's fine. But I will definitely put it onto my personal reading list. Let's see, in captivity. Humans are among those drawn to these empty-headed confetti weasels. Confetti weasel? That's my favorite, like, description of an animal that I've ever heard. Oh, that's fine as long as you enjoy it. I'm positive that I will. Though these platypi are banned on more sane planets, many well-off Nisaurians keep them as pets. They're not for those without means, as they require special food to meet their nutritional needs and plenty of water for enrichment and exercise. They're known for evading every attempt to keep them confined, leading some to believe that the creature may have some quantum property that allows it to disappear if not under constant surveillance. They somehow end up everywhere they shouldn't. In your fridge, tangled up in stray wires, in the trunk of your car, and yet somehow always completely unharmed. So I guess that's the little indestructible feature there. Oh, I love that. And like author commentary is a little spoiler. Right, this species was introduced because 2 player characters used platypus as a code word, and the third PC decided clearly that must mean they want a pet platypus. But since this is a sci-fi game, we had to make the creature suitably alien, and thus this creature was born. Their pet platypus was given the name His Royal Highness. I love that. And that is one more article complete. And yes, Prippy Munty Poppycock, you are right on time with the sippies, thank you. Much appreciated, much obliged. And yeah, so this article, again, is also hilarious, and I now understand I now understand the name of this article right here. And there you go. Okay, I will snatch this little article right here, and I will keep it for safekeeping. And now let us move on to our next article. We will read this one that, you can see me a little tab switching right here. This one who unfortunately, sorry, my words are just like not wording right now. That's from Quisi, I believe. The Sun Shadow Hawk. Yeah, so let's see. I'm already intrigued by this article, and here's the link for you all. It is extinct, so this creature is no longer. So let's see, like this is a nice and short article for us to read, but very good nonetheless. The person who wrote it, unfortunately, did go to bed already, so that's a little sad, but it's alright. What can you do? But yes, the Motheric Hawk, often referred to as Sun Shadow on Ziz, I'm gonna assume that's how you pronounce XIX, is seen depicted as a bird of prey, often with the wings of a moth. So that is very interesting. I would love to see like art of this creature and what this bird of prey would look like with moth wings. The most interesting part of this creature is that there is no evidence of this existence. Interesting. Despite this, it appears in iconography within completely separate cultures, separated by many light years on different planets. Very nice. Oh, it's a dragon. The Ziz revere the sun shadow as a protector from myth and legend. The symbol of this creature, usually depicting a stylized head and a dark sun as a backdrop, is used within the Council of Grand Architects and Military Order. On Vara, the Varish laud the Great Moth as the source of their learning and technological advancement. Variations of the symbolism vary in Varan culture, depending on whether it is found in military or scholastic use. The Kasan are seen to use rounded scales and odd wing-like patterns in their armor. Though it has never been confirmed, it is thought to be in connection with their strange deity, with some visual representation bearing a strong resemblance to the Motheric hawk. Curiously, symbols of a likeness to the Motheric hawk have been found on Sistora, despite no connection to the human settlement there or the bionic technocracy. Due to the nature of the legends and myths surrounding the hawk, it is widely regarded that it has died out. Nothing else is known regarding the creature, besides it is often said to have been the size of the average of any species that is talking about it. Interesting. So it could be a dragon, it could also be Mothman. It's an interesting moth cryptid that shows up in scripture throughout the world. Like all throughout the world and the world beyond. And apparently, it's exactly as big as you are, if you are the one talking about it. There are whispers from various secluded tribes on Kareth and from the odd traveler that crosses paths with mysterious figures on space stations and planets. These whispers speak of the Motheric moth being nothing less than the true form of Jaden. I'm interested in who Jaden is. Tell me. It's not an article yet, but it is there and it is in bold, so I want to click on it. I want to know more of this information. And so we don't have any more information in here. If this thing was as tall as me, I would go full Roadrunner. I would probably go as fast as possible in the opposite direction. But yeah, I think this article is still a work in progress, as, you know, it's summer camp. Of course, all these articles are going to be works in progress. But yes, this is an animal associated with or symbolizing power. And so that's really cool. Meep meep. And you just see me running off that way. Take my little sip, because this article is complete. Yeah, and so that was a very nice, like, short and sweet article, but it introduced, like, a very interesting concept. The fact that this thing is, like, I didn't even redeem the sippy, that is true. I got ahead of you a little bit, because, gosh, after the last couple articles, I feel myself really needing to just, like, slow down and have a little sip. Because, whew, something about me lately feels like I'm just not used to talking very much. Or, you know, I think reading in particular just takes a little bit more effort out of me, and so my throat's like, hey, yeah, we can take a little break, bud. Don't know how tall you are, and I'm 6'2", so hawk like this size might be a bit scary. Yeah, I'm 6 foot, like, just even, so I'm not too far off, so I completely understand. Oh, you mentioned you played D&D last night. That would kill my voice. Oh, you're so right. And yeah, I'm playing an Air Ganassi, and so I'm kind of trying to have this, like, kind of breathy moment going on, and so that would definitely not help. So I'm, like, simultaneously trying to kind of like keep it low and airy, but also trying to, like, talk over other people who are being quite loud. So, like, just so you can get a word in edgewise. But yeah, it's a rough one. So I'm just out here like, I've walked into a prison camp and I've definitely stabbed so many people on my way in here. Just kidding. You think you're so silly you're so silly to believe that. And just I don't know, man. It takes a lot out of you to just kind of force yourself to whisper but also be loud. Let's see, who else do we have? Alright, our final article on the list. We have She Will Kill You with Cuteness. Everyone thinks she's absolutely insane. Cause she's her whole character thing is that she's kind of just like she blows around the world like she's just kind of like drifting on the winds. Just everything, she just kind of ends up places. She goes places, ends up there. It's a very like go with the flow mindset. But just not really worrying about it. It's just she always wants to try something new. See what new places the winds can take her, and sometimes that just puts her in really strange and interesting situations. Because she just kind of wants to see what's going on over there. She's curious. She's always looking for the next new thing. And that's how she ended up with this party here. But alright, here we go. We have Find the Rainbow in the River. Public anthropological record, property of the Royal Athenaeum of Hunis, Yorp. I don't know how properly to pronounce these things. Seems sane enough to me. Yeah, for sure. But no, from the very beginning of the campaign, she's had people wondering, like, okay, did she actually stab everyone in Waterdeep, or did she actually choose to walk into a prison camp by choice? Neither of those seem particularly plausible. On one of my stories, the ambassador asked my mage what wind can do in terms of magic. Sounds harmless. He pulls out the air from her lungs, and she understands. Uh-huh. Yes, indeed. It can do many things. Alright, yes. This is an article by Nimin. So here we go. Find the Rainbows in the River is an annual tradition practiced at the Royal Athenaeum of Huvnis by the students attending any of the programs of the Creative Lyceum. Etymology and definition. The name of the tradition originates from a Lusoian saying that roughly mediates beauty and meaning can be found even in the most simple and mundane of things. It is a commonly spoken piece of encouragement to students and co-workers alike by former head of community arts, Setsuva. History. Alright, history section is still being worked on, or unless, no, history just flows into origin. Okay. I always get a little bit confused when the headers look basically the same, but not quite the same. But it's alright. I understood. It's a different color, so it does differentiate. Alright. The tradition originates from what was intended to be a one-time event honoring the memory of the head of community. Of the head of community arts Setsuva, after she had recently passed away due to illness. Anyone who wanted to contribute to the memorial event was given access to the Creatives Lyceum in order to create a piece of visual art that would be put on display in the stretch of the Wilde River, running through the Academy grounds. The Creatives Lyceum was open for a full month in order to give everyone ample time to finish their contribution, and the attendance number was far higher than anyone had ever anticipated. 1 week before the students' official summer vacation began, the river was filled with a myriad of colorful works of art. It was covered in several news reportages and became a primary target for tourism the rest of the summer. Modern practice. The original event was so widely appreciated that requests for a repeat event started dropping en masse in the following autumn. The event had run annually since, but with a much more limited scope. Observance. The event is run annually with preparations starting 2 weeks before the students' summer vacation. The event is typically publicly announced on all common forms of media in Hovnis to draw attention and tourism. And participants. Today the tradition is limited in involvement and only includes attendees to any of the Creative Lyceum's art programs, plus the art teachers involved in organizing the event. Participation is voluntary. And the preparation. All students in the Creatives Lyceum that would like to participate in the event are asked to spend the last 2 weeks of their semester to look through and reflect on all the pieces of art they've made over the course of the year. They are then to choose the piece they're most proud of and submit it before the end of the semester. Once the deadline for submitting pieces of art has passed, the art teachers involved in organizing the event alongside local maintenance workers are responsible for setting up the art displays during the following weekend. Depending on the nature of the art piece, different methods of assemblage is used, though the most common is using transparent podiums fastened on the river's bottom with the art piece placed on top, which in certain lighting give the illusion of it free-floating above the water. Larger sculptures with their creator's approval have been seen partially submerged or fully placed in the river's bottom. And last but not least, the execution. The art exhibit remains up through the entirety of the summer and is a highly popular target for tourism during that time. At the beginning of the autumn semester, the exhibit is ended and this art is recovered and given back to their respective creators. Yeah, so that's very fun. It's articles like these that I want to see pictures. Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree with you. I would love to see pictures and articles like this because I want to see
Refresh
all the
yourselves.
artwork that's being made. And we thank you for the sippy once again. Oh, we are taking 2 sippies there. Buy one, get one free. Yeah, there you go. Hasn't been too much chatter, so I don't feel like I need to post the link again. But yes, that is it for all of the submissions that have been sent my way. But I will give you all a little sneak peek at the article that I am currently working on refining. And so this is my current little organization article. If we can just drag this in here. So we have the Champions of the Dawn. Sneaky sneakies. Yes, this is my little draft right here, I think. I think it's still a draft. Yes, it is. Alright, so we have the Champions of the Dawn. This is probably going to be the first article that I officially submit. Beautiful header, why thank you. I made it myself. But yes, these are... this little header right here is technically true, but... Wait, why can't I? Oh, okay. Yeah, this little header right here is technically true, although this is actually a header that I need to go bump off to a different article. Because what happened here is I started writing about like a larger pantheon under which these fall. And then I thought, okay, well, I've spent the entire article writing just about this one. So I think I'd rather just make the article about just this one. And so there are like a couple things here and there that I just kind of need to shoot off into a different, it's like little subgroups. Cause like we'll get into it. We will explain why that is a thing once we read through this article. Alright, so this is Pantheon of the Dawn. Champions of the Dawn, my bad. Pantheon which once walked Malcora as mortal champions of the gods. We begin with a quote, "My struggles are so modest, I feel shame in pestering the gods with my prayers for aid. Though you, who once walked this land with us, might understand my plight." Prayer from a cobbler. The Champions of the Dawn are deities which once walked Malcora as mortals, leading humanity out of the Nameless Era in the New Dawn's light. And this is a little mid-journey piece that I made for one of them. So, Watchers of Humanity. The Council of the Ascended, like this paragraph here, features some of the info that I might need to like toss over or just like put somewhere else. But they are part of what is called the Council of the Ascended. And so this description is about that. The Council of the Ascended is the pantheon of gods who once walked the world as mortals in Malcora. The council is made up of several subgroups of gods, each representing innately human traits and values. Patrons of the everyday folk, they seldom represent domains one might consider particularly esoteric or out of human control. This pantheon is recognized and worshipped globally, though different regions of the world will place more emphasis on worship of whichever ascended was most local to them. And so the Champions of the Dawn in particular. As mortals, the Champions of the Dawn played instrumental roles in the turn of the new era. Among these new champions were leaders of faith, battle, and more who walked in the light of the new dawn. These deities embody ideals which carried human populations through ages of war and strife in the Nameless Age. With the majority of these champions hailing from northern Nephirin, this collection of deities is worshipped most within this region, though their role in the turn of the era has carried their influence far beyond. So essentially, the Council of the Ascended is just made up of every single mortal who has ascended to godhood, but the different subgroups within are like groups of mortals who had different hands in Melchora's like development and growth. And so the Champions of the Dawn specifically are the mortals who led humanity out of the Nameless Era when the gods returned to Melchora. Essentially is what this was. So these are the champions who like they carried the word of the New Dawn, which is like the goddess that basically helped everything kind of get rolling and take them out of the Dark Age again. And so her champions became the Champions of the Dawn and are now the first of the Council of the Ascended. So, because there are different groups that appear within the Council at different times, I think it would be wise, in fact, to hold off on writing about the Council of the Ascended until I actually have a couple more groups to add to it, you know? Because there would be some kind of structure, some kind of way that these deities work together, in a way. Because, you know, you're not just going to add a bunch of new mortals to an organization and just say, oh yes, you all function well together, just right off the bat, with no organization, no ranks, no titles. Something would have to go. Especially as Cora, the Dawnbringer, is the namesake of the realm. She is not only a champion of the Dawn, but is now believed to be right hand of the New Dawn herself. She is a beacon of faith and a testament to humanity's influence on the world at large. So this one deity from the Champions of Dawn would have a lot of influence, and a lot more influence than even the others within her own little sub-pantheon. And yes, so far, I've only come up with 4 of them. Like, this is a list that I still need to work on and develop and, you know, expand with time. But we have Cora, the Dawnbringer, in the domains of faith and perseverance, and she is the patron of faithful and clergy. Nasir, the mentor, he's in the domain of leadership and battle. So he's the patron of war medics and military leaders. Likely also soldiers, just anyone who fights and defends. Levje, the druid, and the domains of harvest and growth. She is the patron of farmers, providers, people who like grow things from the land, and those who, you know, provide for other people. And Elector, the speaker, is in the domains of knowledge and invention. So these are your artificers and scholars, those who build things to maintain society. And so for some further descriptions, Cora the Dawnbringer, a champion hailing from the far north of Nephirin, her ancient home in Balogor remains a sacred holy site accessible only to devoted of the New Dawn. She's a patron for those who follow the path of faith and watches over those who fear they've lost their way. Nasir the Mentor, hailing from northeastern Nephirin, Nasir is the patron of war medics and military leaders and is a strong patron of the battle-scarred lands of Nephirin. Remnants of the war for light yet remain after millennia, and he watches over those who reside among them. Elector the Speaker. I haven't rewritten these quite yet, but as one could argue, the most esoteric of the bunch, being the patron of artificers and scholars. In the domains of magic and knowledge, he is the patron of those who pursue knowledge and understanding. Those who study magic often call to him for aid. And Levje the Druid, goddess of harvest and growth, and patron for farmers and providers, the Druid looks over those who aid others through warm hearths and full stomachs. Oh, Levje, bring good fortune upon my tomatoes, lest they dry out in my greenhouse. Exactly. These are exactly the kinds of prayers that people would send to, like, people in this pantheon. Like, if you're just having, like, a normal, very human issue, this is who you pray to. Like, real-world example, like, if your backyard, like, if your plants are looking terrible and sad, you'd pray to Levje to make, just like give you some kind of divine inspiration, help you fix whatever's wrong with your garden. Because this just ain't working. The carrots I grew this year were so small, I could barely get food out of them. This is a real world example. Same applies for my cucumbers. Yeah, for sure. Like, you might pray to Elector, the speaker, if you're trying to build something and this contraption just won't work. Like, maybe, like, heck, maybe you keep just, like, dropping random little parts and pieces that you need and losing them. Like, you pray to this guy to just, gosh, make everything work. Like, please, just let me build this thing without driving myself insane. You know what I mean? Like, just normal person stuff. And yeah, so this is my little organization. I could have used that guy when building my bowed lyre. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. So like, if you're building stuff, if you're making stuff, designing stuff, this is your guy. This is the guy you pray to. And if you're, yeah, so like military, Nasir is the person that you would pray to if you're like going to war. Because like, you know, in a fantasy setting, there's gonna be a lot of conflict. There's gonna be a lot of fighting. War can come to you at any time, and even if it's not war specifically, like maybe you're just fighting against a threat of some kind, like you're always defending yourself against something, some kind of threat. This is the guy you pray to when you need to make sure that like you need good tactics, so you're like, man, tell me how to get through this without like killing myself and everyone else I'm trying to protect, you know what I mean? And Korra, because faith is so prevalent in this world in particular, people who are having trouble with their faith or feel like they've lost their way, they don't know how to move forward, just a lot of worries, just a lot of things from the heart. She's the person that you'll pray to. Oh, guide my hammer so I squander it on the face of my enemies. So people usually pray to only one of these throughout their lives, or can each prayer be to an individual god depending on the situation? Definitely to any situation. There will be a difference between like actively worshiping a god and praying to that god. Because people will send prayers to like a wide variety of gods depending on what they need at that time. But different places in the world might just like there may be more churches and more shrines and more everything devoted to specific ones of these gods. And it may be more prevalent depending on where they're from. Because again, like all these mortals came from different parts of the world. So it's this pantheon is really like it's like revering a saint, essentially. So these are saints, so like I come from like a Russian Orthodox background, so I know that, you know, like there's saints, like we used to sing psalms to like Saint Tikhon, Saint Herman of Alaska, you know, like these different places from different people from different places. So like, you know, if you have like a specific champion that is from where you are living right now, you might have a lot more like reverence for them just in general. And so that is kind of what guides how these people worship members of this Council of the Ascended. And so yeah, they just know that each of the different gods have these different associations, and so they'll pray to these gods when they need help with these different things. And so if your matters are just like very small scale, like very human issues, you'll pray to these gods because you think like those big dudes up there, they don't even care about what's going on with this. They don't understand my plight. But these guys might, because they were quite literally human like me. And so they find them more relatable. These are who prayers typically go to, unless something is like really going wrong. You know, like you're not gonna pray to the champions of the dawn because there's a drought and all the crops throughout your region are dying. You might ask Levia to help you if your own are dying and you just don't know what to do, but like praying for like deliverance from a plague is not going to come from these gods. These are like these are who you pray to for like an understanding ear who can guide you and help you personally, and not really like make world changing effects. So yeah, who you pray to will vary quite a bit depending on where and when. And you know what? I'm gonna do a little. Hold on, where is it? Give me this. We are actually going to right now. We're doing it live. Here we go. Is my little edit window for Champions of the Dawn. It is published. We've refreshed. We are submitting a powerful organization in your world. Your article has been submitted to World Building SummerCamp 2023. Because I kind of broke my own rule. I read an article that wasn't submitted to the challenge. Wahoo! But do these gods provide salvation at all? Are their powers undisputed and real? It depends on what you mean by undisputed and real. They have very limited ability to alter the world and what is going on, but they do have some power. Most of their power, like anyone in the Council of the Ascended in particular, their role is largely guidance. Like you will pray to them, and more likely than not, they will like give you some kind of response, some kind of word that can help you along your way. So they won't so much give you like magical blessings, they won't like bestow things upon you really, but they might be able to provide insight that you otherwise would not have access to. And so that mostly is their power. For any actual like major effects, for example, you'd want to go with like a major god pretty much, which they really aren't. They've just been ascended to divinity, and now it's more or less kind of their way of giving back to humanity.
Refresh yourselves.
Sabi-toothed tiger with the sippy. Oh yes, because I finished an article. Oh, and CM Nugget also here with the sippy.
Refresh yourselves.
Many thanks. And a third sippy.
Refresh yourselves.
Sippy train. Very good, very good. Actually, let's see. Can I... Where are ya? I'm looking... I have to... Oh, no, hold on. Oh my god. Completed prompts. 1. Who's bonking me? Oh, all the sippies are coming in. I'm getting bonked and sipped upon.
Refresh yourselves.
Very good, but yes, I've updated my little number and it is now at 1 out of 10. So there we go. We have seven articles that are, you know, unofficially done, yet to submit. But it's now, you know, you. Why the bonk? Water the bird. But here's the article that I have just shared. If you want to go check it out, it will... Water the bird. CM Nugget, this is your first time...
yourselves.
Your first time chatting in here. Oh my goodness, hello. Somehow. Although, 4-month subscriber at the same time. And yes, water the bird. Water the bird, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Refresh yourselves.
You guys need to stop.
Refresh yourselves.
Thank you for watering the bird. Yeah, mug number 2 is almost empty. You guys have really done a good job today with the whole watering thing. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate
Refresh
everybody.
yourselves.
Ah! Stop! Thank you. Indeed. Yes, alright, so that concludes today's readings, at the very least. And now on to the plans for the rest of this weekend. Someone's going to live in the bathroom tonight. Oh no.
Refresh yourselves.
Do not wish this upon me. Oh, thank you. But yes, plans for the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow, it is Saturday, and you all know what that means. Silver prompts are being released. And so I'm going to be having my 2 p.m. or slightly later Eastern Time stream. I'm going to stream as soon as all of the prompts are released. So yes, we have new prompts. Everyone, get the feral energy out in here. Because we got more
Refresh
prompts
yourselves.
coming. Oh my gosh, you guys. Sabby-Tooth Tiger is the Sippy Lord. Yeah, so after the prompts are all revealed, I will then be going live to go, you know, tackle some of them. We're gonna follow basically the same procedure as last week. We're gonna get on stream, we're gonna brainstorm, we're gonna just journal all of our first thoughts as soon as we read all of these new prompts, get some ideas flowing, think about what in our world we can bring to life in these brand new articles. And yeah, if we finish that with enough time to spare, maybe we'll get to actually start writing some of them. Who knows? Maybe we could jump into doing some writing sprints, we could do some more other things, but that all depends again on just how much we can get through, how much idea crafting we can do, and if any of these prompts are, you know, challenges as they were this week, because I did have two that I have yet to come up with ideas for, so we'll see. I can finish Chocolate Cartel before the stream, hopefully. I'm gonna see how much more work I can get done tonight and tomorrow morning. Hopefully I can submit all of my copper prompts before the new release. And yeah, that'll be pretty good. Yeah, so tentative 2 p.m.-ish tomorrow I will be streaming. And then on Sunday is our usual gaming stream. I will be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time once again. We are playing Graveyard Keeper for what may be the final time. I believe that we are finishing the story on Sunday, so if you want to see how it ends, absolutely come by and hang out with me on Sunday. And, you know, if we do in fact finish the game on Sunday, I'm gonna need some help picking out the next game that I play on stream. Oh, you know, we're just having a little discussion at this point, so hello, it's me, it's my face. Welcome. Sunday is for reading my tabs, coming by, heck yeah. Yeah, just come hang out. You can do some writing, do some reading while you're hanging out with me on my little gaming adventure. But yeah, I'm gonna put together a list of games. Beautiful friend, oh thank you, hello. Know you? But yeah, I'm gonna put together a list of games that are just on my Steam library that I would like to play at some point. And yeah, we can kind of just run through that list as a group, and we can kind of figure out what we want to see on stream. There are gonna be quite a few, so yeah, we'll see what happens, what lands. We'll see where our story ends up in Graveyard Keeper. Cute bird. Oh, stop it. You stop that indeed. But yeah, so that is what we've got going on. Tomorrow, Silver Prompts. Sunday, Graveyard Keeper. Tuesday is when we're going to be doing our writing sprints. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be Tuesday night sprints. And so yeah, and then, you know, we just kind of keep the ball going. On Friday, again, next week, we're going to be doing Silver Prompt article reads. So if you finish any Silver Prompt articles, you're more than welcome to send me your favorite throughout the week. And, you know, if your favorite changes throughout the week, you are also more than welcome to send me a new one. Hype Train has no breaks, absolutely none. And yes, next Friday's stream, I do plan to stream before 2:30 a.m. for you. So that'd be pretty cool. I was thinking that I might try to do like 11 to 1, which would be right before World Anvil stream, and we could just raid into them when we're done with our readings. And so yeah, I feel like that'd be a nice little raid train right there. You know, come hang out for some readings on next Friday. Go raid into World Anvil for even more world-building adventures, and then go wherever they send us after that. Jump. Yes, the birds on the screen do in fact jump. The star thing is just kind of a default. I don't know how I don't know how reliable it is to try and jump with like the stream delay, which I'm sure there is one. I need to figure out. I want to make the dance command last longer, because at the moment it kind of just doesn't. It doesn't last for very long at all. And so if you don't know which bird is yours, it's very hard to notice the actual animation going off. I don't know, we'll see. I only downloaded this today. So you see all the little birds down there. This is brand new. I still need to learn how to use it to its best ability. But we're gonna say right now, I'm thinking that I'm gonna start setting little community goals, and we're gonna add more different types and different colors of pigeon to our little bird collection down there at some point. So, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. If you are interested in participating in this little adventure, I will once again say you are welcome to come join my Discord server, which is where I'm going to be holding most of my polls and things, but in general it's just where I post most of my announcements and everything, so if you never want to miss a stream, that's where you want to be. And you can choose what you want to get pinged for, so if you only want to be pinged for streams, that is an option for you. But if I'm way too excited about an announcement, I will ping everyone with no shame. But that only happens sometimes. Like, that happened when I was like, whoa, I'm gonna be on World Anvil stream, and that's really awesome. So yeah, pretty cool. So I guess now is a good time to see who we can go run off to and go raid. See what's going on, what's happening. All right. Trying to think of who we should go to right now. I think we're going from one writing stream to another. I'm going to send us off to Coffee Quills, who is streaming For the Words. We'll see what Coffee Quills is up to today. So let's get on this little raid train. You are more than welcome to share any variation of bird raid upon entry. Make it fun, make it cool, get some emotes in there, you know, just follow your heart, really, because that's what bird raids are all about. So yes, you all have the most wonderful of wonderful days, wonderful evenings. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay hydrated, most of all. My mug is empty, so I'll have to fix that after this. Hawkstock, yeah, there you go. And yes, happy world building, everyone. You have a wonderful rest of your night. Enjoy Coffee Quill's stream and summer camp hype. Feral energy, we got the prompts coming tomorrow, so that's so exciting. Bring that hype over to Coffee Quills. I'll see you guys another time. Farewell, farewell.